of those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah, I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I just need a
chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. Look, taking the lead, we don't follow. We need it now, not tomorrow. Don't care what they say, not changing the pace. Working too hard to be last in the race. So much time in the day, and it ain't none to waste. Working this hard to be one of the greats. Whatever it takes, put that on the plate. Life is a gamble, we raising the stakes. Moving the bar up so high. Been on our grind, for life. Bringing the light, you just so bright. We shining, platinum sound cool, but we trying to reach diamond. Hard work pays off, that's perfect timing. Changing the world with this rhyming, it's priceless. We got the nicest by putting the time in. Can't be the greatest, you're not even trying. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up.
Man, I lost track of time. I apologize, mama. Go ahead and eat without me. I'm still on the grind.
I ain't touching home base by dinner time. All I can see is the finish line. Started, I gotta finish mine. It's get it time, anytime, hella long. I've been in line, I didn't mind at all. Wake and bake, won't take a break at all. That's on my word, my boss. Naming lights, gon' have to pay me twice or pay me no mind, and I don't mind at all. My grind is grit, I am my job to inspire. I'm right behind GOTA. Line has been fired by a chain for a time. I ain't get hired, second wind kicked in, I probably won't get tired. Kevin Gates or Kevin Bacon, only 6 degrees of separation between me and the next level of elevation. Perseverance, the art of dedication.
What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted.
Hello everybody, and welcome in. It's that time. It's Sunday evening, and your hottest ACC North American League is live on your screens, on your TVs, or your phones, or your tablets, or whatever device it is that you're watching at home from. Welcome in. This is presented by the Infinite Racing League IRL, presented and provided, of course, partnered with Coach Dave Academy. Where do you find IRL? You can find them on SimGrid, www.simgrid.com. Nice and simple. From there, you register a SimGrid. You will find IRL in their host of leagues. It's a very large list. You can use a little search engine, search Infinite Racing League. You follow that league, and then from there, it'll give you updates on all these events that runs through the Infinite Racing League. I'm your host for the evening, gt3 Gaming, and again, family-friendly broadcast here, ladies and gentlemen, so the kiddies can definitely sit in and have a watch with you if that's what they want to do. So, we are 3 out of 8 rounds in here tonight. We head all the way from the United States. We had round 1 and round 2 in the Americas here. The first race being in California at Laguna Seca, the second race being over in the southern part of the country at COTA. So, now the drivers, the teams, they load the cars up, they fly all the way across the ocean over to the United Kingdom, and we head to Donnington Park for round 3. So the details are as follows here for our third round here with the IRL GT3 Summer Series. It is a 70-minute race, 1 hour and 10-minute long race. There is 2 required pit stops here tonight. There is no mandatory tire or fuel that needs to be taken in those 2 pit stops, and there is no minimum or maximum set of tires allowed for round 3. So the drivers do have to make 2 pit stops within the 70-minute period, but from there, how they choose to do that, if they choose to take fuel, if they choose to take tires, is entirely up to them. They won't be penalized for doing so. So strategy will be a big factor here tonight, having to clear 2 pit stops. Donnington Park, it's a mixture of really high speed with really low speed tight corners, and it's looking like we got about 20 plus drivers here on our grid tonight. Again, nice and stacked up, should be quite fun. So we're in free practice for another 8 minutes and 40 seconds on the screen there. And this is just giving the drivers a chance to check their tunes, make any last minute adjustments before qualifying, and then we'll go qualifying for 20 minutes. At that point, it'll be about a 5-minute pause in between qualifying and race start, and then we're going to kick off a 70-minute endurance here with the Infinite Racing League GT3 Summer Series. So welcome in, everybody. Hope you're all ready, because so far this new season here with the Infinite Racing League has been absolutely fantastic. Laguna Seca, fantastic race. Last week's race at COTA was just a beauty. It was a beauty. It was a great battle in the mid-pack. Mid-pack stole the show last round in round 2 at COTA for sure, 100% of the way through. So let's find somebody else to hang out with here with Critico Basilico here, currently sitting in 3rd place for that NSX. So we'll go through our driver's field when we're getting a little bit closer to qualifying. We'll head back into the garage and see who is indeed on the grid here tonight for competition. So lots of familiar faces. We got some that weren't here last round that are in this round. We got some here that were in last round that aren't in this round. So it's been a pretty interesting series so far. Let's go fast, y'all. Best wishes for y'all on track and in life. Nolander Gaming up in the house, coming in with that thumbs up on the stream as well. How we all doing? Hope we're all doing fantastic. All right, everything looks to be hanging in there again, so we love that. We love that. All right, coming in with the multiple shares as well in the stream. Absolute legend there, Mr. Nolander Gaming over on Facebook Gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely stop over, say hi. Another sim racer and commentator here on the Gran Turismo platform right now, and maybe to the ACC platform someday. You never know, but go say hi. Right, who else we got around? We got MX Bloxham. MX Bloxham missed last week. He had real life endeavors to deal with, so he wasn't able to head down in race COTA, so he is back this week. This is one driver who's going to be looking to capitalize, make up some points, and get back up in, hopefully, towards the top of the standings. So, hey, why is that not working? Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Ghost here. How's it going? GT45 Gaming. Give you a little love, give you a little face shot, give you a little camera time. My little buddy Bluey here. We always keep it nice and tight when we're commentating. But yeah, no, you know, we're just chilling. Last season was a great season, 8-week season. This season going by so quickly here. Donnington Park, a nice little UK run we're having here, and it's kind of based off, I believe, real-time weather conditions. So whatever the weather is in Donnington Park today is, of course, the weather on the racetrack here today as well. So all the testing, all the tuning throughout the week for these drivers in the lobby is really just kind of information, because the real testing is the official practice lobby, which we're viewing right now, that has 5.5 minutes left on the screen. This is where they get the actual weather information for these cars, and this is where they have to really start to dial in and fine-tune the tunes, the setups in their cars, their tire temperatures, all those things. That's so important here on the Assetto Corsa Competizione platform. Let's go. Another great night of racing. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Donnington Park always provides some good racing. So, yeah, it's going to be a good one. I mean, what else can you say? Of course, a lot of the drivers, of course, probably using tunes and setups provided by Coach Dave Academy. Again, partners here with the IRL Sim Racing League. You can find IRL on Discord, and you can also find the IRL League registration through SimGrid. So www.simgrid.com. Go over there, hit register for an account, of course. Once you register for your SimGrid account, there you can search leagues. So IRL being one of those leagues on the platform, you just go into the search engine, put in IRL or Infinite Racing League, and it'll give you a bunch of options. You find a league, you can jump in there, follow that league, and then from there, of course, you can find a Discord invite and all the important information that is required to follow the process to get involved here with the league. This is a PS5 version of Assetto Corsa Competizione as well, ladies and gentlemen. This is not PC, this is PS5. So this is for all our console sim racers out there. Bloxham is fast too, my guy. Definitely one to watch out for. Facts, Nolander, you're not wrong. Edward coming in with that thumbs up. Shane coming in with the thumbs up and the share on the stream as well. Much love. Yo, just in for a quick like and share. Have a good stream. Much love, brother. Appreciate you, Shane. Have yourself a good one, my guy. Hey, what's up? Let's go, says Bloxham up in the house over in the IRL YouTube. Welcome in over there as well. So, I guess first and foremost, we're about to do some qualifying in about 4 minutes time here, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get those fingers ready. Those button pushing fingers, and don't forget to hit that like and that share to your favorite Discord groups and Facebook groups. Let people know what's going on over here at IRL and GT45 Gaming. Get them involved, get them in here, and get them watching what's going to be a fantastic race here with 20 plus drivers on our grid at Donnington Park tonight. They're not going to want to miss it. I want Donnington Park and GT7. Fabulous layout of a track. It is. It's a great combination of a racetrack. It really puts the driver to the ultimate test throughout the racetrack. So you get comfortable in this situation here where Johnny B is right now. You're just coming out of the high-speed sector, and then you're going to come into a really tight technical infield sector where it comes down to a lot of slow-speed corners and low gearing. So it's interesting to see how 20 of the drivers barreling down on it are going to handle it, but we're about to find out in about 30 minutes time when the race starts here. So we're going to be heading into qualifying in a little less than 3 minutes time. Of course, there'll be a little bit of a cool down period, and we'll get rocking, and then we'll get rolling. And right now, Johnny B is our second place driver on the grid, and he's only following MX Bloxham right now in practice. So the fastest two drivers are MX Bloxham and Johnny B, and I believe both drivers also driving the Audis. So Audi proving to be a pretty strong competitor here tonight as well. We're going to see lots of BMWs on the racetrack. BMW seems to be a pretty popular pick here to Assetto Corsa Competizione right now. So it's a bit of a beast of a car. I don't blame people. And yeah. So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, ultimately it comes down to driver and pace, I suppose, and not making those big mistakes when it comes down to race time. But it should be pretty fantastic to see what these drivers are going to put out here tonight. 70 minutes is a lot of time to make mistakes and have some great battles. That is for sure. Hey, what's up, Rigo? How you doing, my guy? Good luck, guys. It's going to be fun. Oh, I agree. It's a great racetrack. Alright, so, you know what, we're going to record this stream from here on out, just in case something happens, just in case, and we're going to rock it, and we're going to roll it. So, just wanted to say hi, let you guys know, we're real. It's not some robot behind a microphone rocking out high energy commentary for you guys and gals, and all the kiddies at home all the time. We're a real person, and we miss y'all, so we're glad to be back, we're glad the stream's fixed, and, well, we've been bottled up a little bit here without the streaming content, so we're probably going to have some good high-energy comms coming for everybody tonight. I can feel it in my belly. The fire is real, so let's see who we got on track at the moment here. We're getting kind of down to the wire, so it's going to be not too many drivers left kicking around here. We got Rig Pig here and Alexis back on track here as well. I'm not sure who we got up in behind him there, one of the Ferrari drivers as well. So we're going to see different assortment of cars here tonight as well. So that's always fantastic as well. We're just going to take my ugly mug off the face here now. Pop, pop. Done deal. Done. Bye-bye. And get ready to do what we do best, ladies and gentlemen, and that's bust out some commentary. So And we're about to head into the end of qualifying. So with that being said, you know, let's just go take a look at our field. All right, 19 drivers. 19 drivers on the grid here tonight, so that's fantastic. We've got MX Blocks and Fastest in Practice. He's going to be Johnny B in the grid as well. We've got Critical back. We've got Call Me CJ back here tonight as well. We've got Kahlua 94, GLR Seal back. We got Tango 2 back. GLR Racers back this week. Make It Rain back on track here, looking to capitalize on some more points. We got Semestri back after round 1. Rig Pig is back. We got Rigo on track. We got Fluka in the Ferrari. We got Ripe Jazz back on track. We got Dave. I'm not sure who that is. Potentially a new driver here this week. We got JDR in 16th. We've got Griffin 283. He had a pretty juicy race last week. Just track limits and race control finally got the best of him. Butler Racing here in 18th in that Lamborghini. We got Arcano Marcio here in that Porsche as well here in 19th driver on the grid here today. So 19 to start this thing off. Should make for a pretty good race here. Lots of room for the racers. I think we're in for a good treat tonight. I really do.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Alright, yeah, no, everything's looking really nice and tight right now in the metrics. I think I can stop worrying about the stream. Thanks for doing what you do, brother. Hey, you know what? Thank you to the drivers, thank you to the organizers, the partners, everybody involved. It really does take a team to make something like this happen. So the drivers bring great action and vibe to the racetrack. It just it makes it fun for the commentators. So thank you to the drivers for just racing clean and having fun out there, because really at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So just keep doing what you guys are doing out there, and enjoy the racing and have some fun, and yeah, have some laughs and some breakdowns at the end of it. But you know, we're gonna see a lot of things happen throughout the race here tonight, folks. We're gonna see some crashing. We're gonna see some heartbreaks. We're gonna see some pretty crazy battles and some great moments on the racetrack as well. So we're gonna see a little bit of everything. It's a set of course of competition, and it never disappoints. All right, let's jump on board with Rigo. Rigo up in the chat there just a couple of minutes ago. Here we go, the Mercedes driver, and he is in that classic BWT paint scheme here today. I love that. It looks so good, doesn't it? I got one on my Audi TT Evo 2 and Gran Turismo 7 actually. So yeah, big fan of that too as well. But looking good out there. So we'll sit on board here with Rigo for the out lap, and then of course it'll be time to start putting in official laps. So we'll sit with this driver for this time around, and then we'll pick another driver to hang out with, and we'll continue to do so for the 15 minutes of qualifying. I apologize. I thought it was 20. It's actually 15. And this is a really crazy corner. I haven't raced Donnington Park very much myself yet, but yeah, the couple times I have, that corner. Oh, that corner. Oh, and there we go. A little bit of a mistake made, maybe a mental error, maybe just forgetting at what point on the racetrack. I missed the braking point, not sure what happening there, but that's unfortunate. He's coming down that back stretch, down the start-finish line there, so it's going to not exactly be an ideal first lap here for him, but it's still going to be a lap nonetheless. He's still green, which means that the lap is still counting at this point. So the moment we see those timers going red on the top left-hand corner on the live timing, that means the lap will be invalid and it won't count when they cross the start-finish line. Kilty coming in with that like on the stream. My guy, share bomb, he says. Coming in without multiple shares. Absolute legend, Mr. Killer Racer is. And thank you, my guy. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it was something you said in the chat the other night that got the stream sorted out finally. So yeah, cheers, brother. Appreciate you. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling with that beautiful pink, blue, and white Mercedes here as he's rocking and rolling around Donnington Park here today. Again, this is round 3 of the GT3 Summer Series presented by the Infinite Racing League, partnered with Coach Dave Academy. You can find these guys on SimGrid. All right, let's rock and roll. First lap here for the number 911 driver here of Mercedes. Let's see what he's got first time around. Now we do know that he's not going to have maybe an ultimate best lap here around this time around because of a little bit of mistake entering the final stretch of the opening part of his qualifying lap, but that doesn't mean that he still can't hook it all up and get it nice and beautiful here and put in a good safe lap, and then start to push a little bit more here as the car starts to come in a little bit. The tires start to heat up a little bit better, and a much better line through that final hairpin, and a much better run to the start finish line. So we're going to see 129.9 out of him. Here's 5th place right now on the grid. Let's jump to, let's see here. Let's go to JDR. Another beautiful looking race car here on the racetrack tonight. Lamborghini out on the track, and this is a beautiful paint job on this car as well. So let's follow him around here for a bit of his lap here. And again, 19 drivers on the grid here to start our race this evening. So drivers are just putting in some qualifying laps right now, and then we'll see a break in between. This will give the drivers a chance to make any last minute fine adjustments to those tunes. The driver, of course, the crews will put those tunes into the cars, and then we'll see them line up on the grid side by side. From there, we'll have a virtual safety car lap, which I'll explain in just a little bit. And then when they come back around from that virtual car safety lap, and as we say that, we've got a BMW off the track here qualifying, facing the wrong direction and into the wall. So a little bit of damage there on, I don't know whose car, maybe Tango 2 that was. But unfortunate there for them, is they're probably going to be resetting and trying that again. So let's, Critico here is currently sitting in third place right now on the grid so far here qualifying, number 52 NSX. Of course, that is a Honda NSX nowadays. And he's just going around a slower driver there. So great recognition by JDR right there in the Lamborghini that car on a hot lap is coming. And he's currently green right now, but that lap is red. So this will be a nil and void lap here for Critico. So let's jump on with our pole sitter currently. MX blocks him. And his time right now is a 26.975. So let's see if he can improve on that this time around. Cargo Burr. How's it going, Jake, my guy? Much love. Oh, and he's gonna get track limit right there going through the chicane. So that's gonna nil and void that lap. Let's see. Here we got Johnny B. Coming out in behind him, and he is the second place driver sitting on the grid here. So right now he is on a valid lap, but is potentially an out lap maybe here. Let's see. He's green, he's red, he's green, he's red. It's give a little, take a little, give a little, take a little around each corner here. And we know this gentleman here can drive. He is, or was, sitting very high in the championship standings going into the last round. I think he got first place finish last week, if my memory serves me correctly. So sitting in pretty good position here coming into round 3, and he's very, very quick. We definitely know that, and that was a 127.537 last time around. It was an improvement. 128, sorry, so it wasn't an improvement. We've got Kalua here in 18th position right now here in qualifying. We've got GLR Seal in 11th. We've got Call Me CJ here in 4th place with that BMW. Of course, another fairly quick driver here, very consistent driver as well. Tango 2, and that was the BMW we seen facing the wrong direction a little bit earlier there. I thought it was, but hey, he's back on track. Car's fixed up, and he's going to see if he can get a good time in with the remaining 8 minutes available in qualifying. We've got GLR Racer cutting some grass for the track officials there, so that was awfully kind of him. We got Silvestri here in 9th place, and a quick driver, if I'm not mistaken. And what's we got here is right now his best lap's at 29.045, so a little bit off pace of the pole sitters here currently, but he is up on that lap. So it was a 28.417 last time around, so it was about a 0.6 of a second improvement on his best lap here, and that's enough to put him up into 5th place here so far. So it was a pretty good little run. We got a Carno Marcio here, and this driver is one of those drivers again where consistency's been really paying off for him so far in this GT3 Summer Series. He's just kind of done his thing. He stuck to his race plan, and he's ended up with pretty good race finishes so far all season long. So the number 266 white and yellow Porsche here coming around. We'll stick up with him here for a minute. So far his best lap on track's at 29.3, and he is down on this one, so he's not going to improve this time around, but he still does have time. 7 minutes remaining. Make It Rain in the McLaren here, and again, one of our administrators here at Infinite Racing League, and one of the headmasters behind what happens here in this amazing GT3 Summer Series we have here. So he is currently sitting in 6th place on the grid in that McLaren, and may potentially be the only McLaren on the grid here tonight. Mistake made by the Ferrari up in front. I'm not sure whose Ferrari that was, but you can see the flag man working hard there. Ooh, got a little bit of a wobble there as Make It Rain was coming through the corner, but let's just stick with him here and as he comes around this lap, and let's see if he can improve on that 28.477. So there's still about 2 seconds between him and pole right now, so there's lots of time that can definitely be made up there. Oh, and he just survives that there without a track limits. It was very close. You got to keep tires on the outside of the sausage curbs going through that chicane on both apexes, or you will get a track limit warning every time. And in qualifying, that's a nil, and that's a void lap. So you definitely don't want that to happen. He was right on the edge there, but he just kept it together, and he is pretty much deadlocked right now with his best time here around the track so far. So this final corner is really important. He needs a great exit here. He needs to step on it. And he's going to lose about a tenth here, so it's unfortunate for Make It Rain. Not improving here currently. We got Rig Pig in the Lexus in 9th place, and he will be the only Lexus on the track, I believe, as well. So a sole McLaren and a sole Lexus here on the field today to see how those drivers do. He's on a void lap. It's red. Who do we got on a lap? Fluka in the Ferrari here, so number 18 driver. Had a pretty good run, I believe, last week, or in round 1 for sure at Laguna. So he's going to take a little bit of a neater chicane there, and he's going to lose a little bit of time, but he's right on pace with his best lap here, and his best lap's 29.000. So definitely looking for an improvement as he's sitting currently in 13th position. There's still 5 minutes remaining in qualifying, so these drivers have a chance at about 3, maybe 4 more laps, depending how clean they can keep them. And final corner super important here. He's down, he's up, he's down, he's up, and he's down just a little. It's so close. He's up a little bit. Fantastic. So it's a little bit of an improvement at 28.982. It does not improve his position. Griffin 283, I think, is a Ferrari that we're seeing struggling a little bit here. He's got a void lap. Let's sit on board with Butler Racing in the Lamborghini, the number 450 Lamborghini on track. A little orange and black scheme here today. We love to see it. And let's see what he can do here. So far, his best lap on track is a 29.207, sitting in 15th. And we know that Fluka in 13th is only about 2.5 tenths up ahead here. So let's see if he can find some time through this last couple sectors of the racetrack and improve that time. Have a good y'alls. Catch you again soon. Hey, appreciate you, Guilty. Always appreciate you, my guy. Hey, have a good race. Hey, hi, peoples. How you doing, my dude? Appreciate you stopping in. Jake coming in with that heart on the stream as well. Rocking and rolling. Let's keep going. Alright, so he is up a little bit here. That's fantastic. So he has found a little bit of time here around the track. Let's see what he's got. I know that he just came across the start-finish line here, but let's stay with him here for another lap and see if he can find a juicy little lap here. Silver driver shows on the car there. We got a BMW off track in front of these guys. Of course, he's just waiting for the driver's on a hot lap to get around before he comes back on track there. He doesn't want to interfere with the ongoing hot lap traffic. So great recognition and awareness, of course, from the BMW driver there. And Butler Racing doing a pretty good job here in 15th. He's up almost 4 tenths of a second here currently. So see if he can keep growing on that a little bit and grab some positions here. Chicane ever so important there. You can see the BMW taking a straighter line through there and got a really good run on the Lamborghini here. And that's not the ideal situation in qualifying if you got a little bit of pace. So, oh, there we go. And we're side by side. Oh, and there is contact there. A little bit of a mistake made there by, and it's just a massacre right there. And that's just an unfortunate situation right there. That's just 2 drivers catching up to each other. And Butler Racing making a bit of a mistake going into the corner, going a little bit wide, and the BMW trying to react, and it just did not quite work out for the 2 drivers there. So 2.5 minutes left in qualifying. It's enough time to get one more stab at a lap around the racetrack if they get in quick and get back out. So we'll see if they can, there's a little bit of an improvement there for him. We got JDR, and he just made a big boo-boo there going through the chicane. You can see the car sliding into the grass there. Critico here in 3rd place as he's coming around. He was a little bit green there at 27.432, so just a hair off his best lap that last time around. Still sitting and holding in 3rd place. MX blocks him now sitting in 2nd place, so Johnny B maybe jumping up into that pole position ahead, but another nil and void lap, and that is indeed the case. It is Johnny B now sitting in pole position with a 26.647, so finding some pace here is Johnny B. All right, Kalu at 94 now up into 4th place. So 3 out of the top 4 drivers currently in Audis here. And he's flying around this racetrack at 28.125. And this lap is a red lap, so it won't count. So he's just trying to make sure that he gets a good exit out of that final corner and sets up a final qualifying lap attempt. Or maybe he's just satisfied with what he's got and he parks it in pit lane. But I guess that's up to each driver. GLR Seal here in 12th place. And currently at 28.872, his best lap. So really the field not spread out by a ton here. It's tenths of seconds between each driver basically, for the majority from 3rd place through to the majority of the field, really, from what I'm seeing here so far. So not too many big gaps. So that should provide for some pretty good tight close racing, I would think, tonight. But Donnington is it can be cruel with dirty air, and if you just miss a turning or a braking point, it could be disastrous too as well. So the drivers are definitely going to have to be 100% on point, especially in the first couple of laps, until those tires and the cars really start to kind of lock into their setups and really start to feel good under the drivers, and they can start to push them a little bit. Once it gets to that point, then you can kind of start to strategize, try to figure out how you're going to make your way through the field. So first 2 or 3 laps, always drivers trying to make up position, but also just trying to get the car to start setting up underneath them, get to where they want that tune to be. So it is a 28.687, so it was an improvement there. He grabs 1 spot from 12th to 11th there that time around. So you can see separated only by little bits are these drivers. Call me CJ here now in 6th place. He's only got a 28.3, so from 6th to 11th place is only separated by half a second. So very small time gaps in between our drivers here currently. And the drivers that are coming across the start-finish line here now will be finishing their laps up, and the ones that are still on a lap will be able to finish that lap before they'll be told to bring those cars in. So Fluka just coming around there. Let's see what we got from... Call me CJ's going to stay in 6th there, just a hair off his best lap there as well. Rapid Duck is on the track. It looks like he's just not qualifying in. And we got Rigo, who just came through his lap there, and that was not an improvement on his best lap there, but very consistent. So he looking pretty good. Nave here, he had a 29.645, so it's going to be a close field here today. It's going to be a very close field. We should be in for a good race here, I think. Rapid Duck starting at the back of the pack in 20th position here, so 20 drivers are on the grid here tonight, so this should be good. So we're going to go jump up with our 10th place driver. We're going to jump on board with Rig Pig here, our Lexus driver, for the race start. And yeah, that's not what's supposed to be happening here right now. Video, Mr. Game. There we go. See, that's what we want. The video game's a little confused, but that's okay. We've got this, chat. Alright, I hope everybody's having a good night. We're going to have about a 5-minute window. So by the time the qualifying officially finishes and the timer resets to the 3-minute countdown with the drivers on the grid to the virtual safety car lap, we're looking at about 5 to 6 minute race start here, and then 70 minutes of racing. So an hour and 10 minutes here from the Infinite Racing League tonight in round 3. Again, GT3 Summer Series presented by Infinite Racing League, partnered with Coach Dave Academy. You can find the IRL on SimGrid. Look at me go pressing buttons. Don't press any buttons. Be good boy. Just wait your just be patient. Just wait. Alright, so track conditions are partially cloudy and sunny conditions. Track is optimum. It's 21 degrees Celsius outside. So track temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. Should be pretty good for the tires here today. So looking like pretty good track conditions and weather conditions for the drivers here today. Should make for good racing. I mean, what else can we say? Alright, let's go do a little stream check here real quick. Make sure everything's moving and grooving. Yeah, everything's looking pretty good. A little bit of a spike, but not a bad spike, a good spike. So we'll take that. We'll take that. All right. It is taking a hot minute here to and get the race underway here, but we just have to sit tight and be patient. So, I mean, what can we say? We have lots of different manufacturers. We got Audi, we got Honda, we got BMW, we've got Porsche, we've got McLaren, we've got Lexus, we got Lamborghini, we got Ferrari, we got Mercedes on the racetrack. There we go, 3 minutes to race start here. So what we're going to see now, everybody watching at home and viewing from home, is when this 3-minute timer ends, we're going to see a virtual pace car lap. So you will see all the drivers take off in order of the position they qualified in, based off of race control, and they will run at a certain speed around the racetrack to a certain point, where then race control will group them up side by side to get them ready to come around the final corner and start the race. Of course, that's all controlled from race control via driver radios. And after that, we have a good race, good clean race start. It's race on for 70 minutes. So red flag situations are always in play in racings for big incidents on track. Sometimes it happens, but so far so good, knock on wood. Here with the GT3 Summer Series, the drivers have been on point at the race start. So 2 minutes away from that point, we'll get a little prompt here from the game. That'll tell us that we can go on track with our TV crew, and from there we'll hang out with number 10 driver Rig Pig. So right in the middle of the field to start our race here tonight and see what we see. Alright, just a little silence there for a second. I kind of just was having a little bit of a brain fart, so to speak. Alright, well, Donnington Park, this is gonna be a spicy race. We're gonna see a couple of things here. We're gonna see some good tight racing, but I think we're also gonna see, as the race progresses and some of the drivers may be paying for their mistakes, we have 2 required pit stops here today. No tires or fuel required in those pit stops, but the drivers are required to stop twice. So at bare minimum, it's going to be 2 stop and goes through pit lane here tonight as well. So that's going to factor in. Lap traffic is going to start to factor in. This race could get very spicy very quickly, depending on how the strategy of each driver really plays out through the field here. So we're about to find out. Aaron coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. How you doing, my guy? Hope you and the family are well. Hope the back is starting to feel better.
10 seconds.
Oh, we're getting ready now, chap. We're getting ready now. And we're going to give you a full screen look here as we get ready to do our virtual safety car lap. So pole sitter coming out, and then it'll be followed by second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way through our 20 drivers here, one at a time. We're going to see some things happening here. So we're going to see the cars swerving side to side. We're going to see them speeding up and braking really quickly. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to build air temperature up in their tires. They're trying to warm their brakes up. They're just trying to give their car the best advantage they can before that green flag drops. So hopefully when they come into turn 1, they have a little bit of grip underneath their race cars and a little bit of heat in the brakes that'll stop them a little bit better, and they can just get straight to their pace. But it doesn't necessarily happen all the time. They all got to play nice. They can't hit each other. So 20 drivers, Donnington Park, 70 minutes. Let's get ready to do some racing. It's a bit better, more of my hip and back. Oh, there's a little sciatic action going on maybe there. I feel you, brother. I feel you. Just take it easy. Just try not to, do the things it doesn't like, and hopefully it starts feeling better here over the next couple of days, my guy. I suffer from back pain. I feel you. All right, so driver is not really forcing the side-to-side action here. We're not seeing a whole lot of erratic speeding up and slowing down from the drivers currently here right now. So drivers seem ready. They seem comfortable. They seem confident. They seem patient behind the wheels of their race cars here. You can see a little bit of starting to happen now as we're getting closer to... Oh no! We got a Lamborghini making a mistake there, and I'm not sure what that's going to mean for the race start, but hopefully he can get back into his spot real quick here, and hopefully he didn't suffer any damage right there. But cold tires, chat, they're no joke. Hit the throttle a little too hard to give the wheel a little too much of a jerk, and it's pretty easy to break traction when these tires are cold like that. So, you know, it's just a little bit of a mistake made by the driver there, and hopefully he can get himself sorted back out to get this race started. Yeah, that's what I think it might be. That's some of the stretches I've been doing today. Yeah, core stretching, yoga stretching works really good, actually. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, race control is grouping our drivers up, so we just got a couple of corners remaining to go. We got the double hairpin and then a big, long double hairpin to the left, so I hope we're ready. 20 GT3 cars roaring around Donnington Park here. This is the Infinite Racing League GT3 Summer Series Round 3. Kick them tires, light them fires. Let's go racing, y'all. Alright, 2x2 as we head around the left hairpin. That gives the drivers roughly about 70 meters to the start-finish line, where the checker or the green flag comes down. We're about to find out. Is it here? It might be a little further down the track here. It is. Then we are green, we're green, we're green, we're green, we're green, and it looks like everybody's back in line here. So coming into turn 1, we are going to sit on board with our driver from the Lexus here, Rick Pig, as he is in 10th place currently right now, and it's just a lot of just survival right now coming around the first few corners. Oh, we got a car sideways in the back there. I'm not sure if it was contact or if it was just a mistake, but one car sideways. Oh, one car, looked like, called me CJ there. Really hard into the wall on the right side. We got a Porsche off the track in the grass. We got Make It Rain trying to make that move around him here, and we got Rick Pig just trying to survive in the middle of all of it right now. So here we go. Gonna stick with this driver for the time being, and then we'll start moving through the field here. So as we're coming out of that first set of S's here, we're coming in, ooh, a little bit wide there, as he just wanted to make sure he's leaving enough racing room for that BMW. BMW is going to grab the position there on Rig Pig, and he has got lots of cars up in behind him here. So side by side is Mercedes and Ferrari there as well. Ooh, a little bit of a moment there from the Lexus driver, number 16. Rig Pig as well here, as we are continuing our lap at the start of our race here. So we'll stick with him here for the first lap, and then we'll start getting through our field and see what is going down around Donnington Park here. I know, bro. Oh, we're going 3 deep coming into the double right-hander in behind. This is not going to end well for somebody. Ooh, it is not going to end well for somebody. That kind of looks like everybody made it through. All right, GG. So coming around the final corner, let's get through our field here. Hey, there we go. Let's get into that confuffle in the back here. There's a Mercedes, a Porsche, and a BMW, and a Ferrari, and a Lamborghini. It's a little bit of everything going on here. We got one driver diving into pit lane. Alright, so we're on Rigo with the Mercedes driver, 13th place driver here right now, as he's in this, the mid-back pack of the pack here. We got Marcio up in 14th here, just in behind them as well. We got Butler Racing in the Lamborghini. I believe that was the car I seen sideways at the beginning of the race on the racetrack as well. So, all battling for some position here. Pardon me, folks. And right now, Rigo is kind of on the tail end of it. Oh, we had 2 cars go off. It looks like a Ferrari and maybe potentially a BMW there. No, it looked like a Ferrari and a McLaren. We've got 48 getting a stop-and-go penalty here already as well. So, oh boy, race control cracking down early on here. And I'm not sure what happened in the background there, but I believe that was Fluka. And, I don't know if it was a Ferrari. It might have been a Ferrari. I don't know who it was, but I believe it was Fluke that we seen going off track there. We got Griffin 283. He's all the way up into 8th place here, so he's made some quick moves here early on in the race. We've got Butler Racing here in 13th. We got JDR in a Lamborghini. He's up into the 10th right now, and he's still trying to hold Rigo off, who's side by side there, and did everything he could not to make contact there. So great job there by Rigo to not get into the side of that Lamborghini, but it did cost him a little bit of position in that battle, so you have to retry that again later. We got Ripe Jazz here in 14th, and I think it was him and maybe Make It Rain we seen off the track there. Black and purple cars, so I believe it might have been potentially these 2 cars and maybe even Fluka in behind involved. So we got a nice little healthy battle going on here, and a little bit of elbows out racing going on here so far early on in the race. as these guys all settle out their position. We got a couple cars sitting in pit lane there. Now it's 70 minutes. There's 2 required mandatory stops here in the race, so strategy is going to come into play. So damage early on in the race might not necessarily be a race killer for these drivers, again with the 2 required pit stops here today. So they're doing a little damage repair in the race car. That clears the pit stop. It's something they got to do anyways. It just costs them the time basically for the pit, for the damage repair at that point. And this early in the race, that time can definitely be made up with drivers battling as hard as these drivers are on the track. Fluka goes up the inside of Ripe Jazz here, gets the job done. So number 18 Ferrari trying to make his way up through the field here. And the next target for him now is Make It Rain. So it was a great move there on the NSX driver of Ripe Jazz from Fluka. So we're seeing some action, that's for sure. We got Johnny B in second place here in behind MX Blocks, and we got Critical Basilico in third place right tucked in behind. And all 3 of these drivers very, very quick drivers. And Kilua 94 just in behind as well. He was proven to be very quick in qualifying as well. So a healthy 4-way battle for the lead potentially here as this race continues to progress. Everybody's just staying real close to each other right now, but nobody's really pressuring to make a move or force anything here. Everybody's just trying to keep it right and tight and not lose that ground on that driver ahead of them. All right, we got our pole sitter here, MX Bloxham, as he continues his journey, so to speak. Oop, wrong button. That's what I'm looking for. And this is kind of what it looks like in behind him here. We're looking for that rear tail cam. We don't have shortcut keys yet here, unfortunately. Tire barrel in the middle of the road by the chicane. Yeah, well, that's quite possible, quite possible. So whether or not that does damage to the race cars, I'm not sure, but MX Bloxham is our fastest man on the racetrack currently with 28.082 as well. So there is, just as Aaron says it, one of the tire barriers is just off on the edge of the racetrack there. So drivers definitely going to have to be aware of that coming around, and hopefully their teams are on the radios making sure that they are aware of that hazard. But really surprised that a caution hasn't come out to clear that hazard off the racetrack yet either. Alright, Kahlua 94 here. Let's see, we got GLR Seal and Griffin 283 having a little battle here. So BMW versus Ferrari here at the moment. And then Rig Pig up at the 6th place in the Lexus just up in front of these two. So Rig Pig's patience paying off pretty good for him here, moving him up 4 spots from his starting point on the grid. But Griffin 283 and GLR Seal looking like they're having a good little, maybe not necessarily battle here right now, but they're definitely very close together. It looked like Seal was kind of trying to give him the business and trying to get around him there a couple turns ago, but got to settle in. That Ferrari's quite good around the corners, so the BMW has to really work to stay on the back end of that car and use that torque, that power, that straight line speed that BMW possesses to reel that Ferrari back in. So I'm not sure when he's going to try to set up a move, but he may just very well be attempting to force that driver into a mistake just by staying close as well. And that's a good strategy. It's a strategy I like to employ a lot. Some drivers don't crack under the pressure, and good for them, but some do, and we see a little mistake made there by Griffin 283 just as we're talking about it. Now Seal is right on the back door here, so that's all it takes. Little mistakes, and Seal looking again here. He just cannot quite find that line through, and he's going to take a look here. Yes, he is. He's going to go up in. He's going to back out. He is going to back out here. So deciding not to take that 2x2, maybe seeing just how that driver was going to react by sticking his nose in there. And very, very interesting racing happening here between these two. And you can see the Mercedes and Butler Racing, who's right now blue flag traffic from an early pit stop just in behind, who allowed these drivers to get through. But a good, healthy little battle right here for 7th and 8th place right now. So we're going to stick with it for a minute. Oh, just as I say that, I switch it. And ooh, there we go, a line for the BMW as the Ferrari goes wide there. And again, just a little bit of a mistake made there, and Seal's going to get the job done. We got Butler Racing coming back in for another pit stop here as well. So interesting. Having a tough race is Butler Racing here to start his day, but GLR Seal getting the job done on Griffin 283 for the time being. Anyways, that was a great little battle right there. We got Call Me CJ here at 17th. I believe he was the BMW we seen head hard into pit wall early on in the race, into the wall on the right hand side of the track early on in the race as well. Tango 2 here, he's got a pit stop cleared out. Butler Racing's cleared both pit stops. Semestry's also cleared both pit stops now. So these drivers are just kind of running here. Interesting to see how that's going to work out for them. It could work out good. We got Racer, GLR Racer, just up ahead of his teammate there as well. We got Semestri here in 18th, and one of the only 2 drivers with clear pit stops here so far. We got Arcano Marcio here, and again, you know, this driver, don't count this driver out. He just kind of sticks to his race strategy. He seems to be quite consistent, and it always seems to end up in the top 10. So this driver, don't count this driver out quite yet. That is for sure. I'm definitely going to say that. We got Make It Rain here in 10th place right now. Again, another pretty good, solid, consistent driver. Seems to find himself with some pretty juicy, healthy battles each week, round in and round out as well. So, you know, as the series develops, these drivers start to build those little bit of rivalries, so to speak, between each other. And it really does make for some really good racing on the racetrack week in and week out here at the IRL. So kudos to these drivers. They definitely put it all on the line. And that was definitely a little bit of a chaotic race start here today. Alright, looks like Fluke just in behind in 11th place there. We got Rig Pig, the driver we were following at the race start. Looks like he benefit pretty good from just being patient, keeping out of trouble here so far early on in the race. He's sitting in that 6th place position, did start in 10th. So he is on a +4 position gain here currently in the race, and he's 5.2 seconds in behind 5th place right now. Oh, and a little bit of a mistake made there by Rig Pig. Oh boy, save it, save it, save it. Nice, nice. Gathers it all up there. Keeps the car out of trouble at least, and he's going to lose some positions there as he spins that car around, and that's really unfortunate. Maybe a little commentator's curse there. I'm sorry, my guy. B-Dave here in 12th place, and boy, that Ferrari's seen better days. You can see some pretty heavy damage on the front end of that car right now, so he might be fighting that car a little bit as he's got 18th place driver Sumestrian behind him, looking to get a lap back from that driver. Oof, and a rough ride over the chicane from B-Dave there. So interesting. It's tough being a blue flag car in this situation, because if you got the pace on the driver, you want to get around them, but you also don't want to affect that driver's race by accidentally making contact. So if you are going to make that move, it's got to be very, very efficient and very precise. So sometimes it's a waiting game, and we see Semestri looking up the inside here. Can he get it done with... Oh, that was a beautiful move right there, and they're side by side, but the Ferrari's just got the pull, and he's just not quite able to get the job done there, but he is going to be up the inside coming into the next corner. He's going to send it. That's going to send him deep, and it's going to be a cutback here from B-Nave, and he's going to take the position back. So Semestri is doing everything he can to try and get around B-Nave here right now in that Ferrari, but that Ferrari seems to have an answer for him, and Rig Pig's going to get a stop and go from race control there. So it doesn't say why, but I'm going to have to serve a stop and go penalty here in the race as well. Maybe track limits. Not sure what exactly it was there, but race control handing out a couple of early stop and go penalties here in the race. So that was a pretty good, juicy little battle right there. And oh, a big mistake made right there. Oh, and hard hit into the wall from B-Nave there as he makes a big mistake. He's trying to get onto the track there, and I don't know if he was aware there was another car there. He almost got Tango 2 on the way by there. It was very, very close, and oof, well, that car taking a big hit there, so I'm assuming we're going to see a pit stop coming from that driver in the near future. 9th place driver Fluke here as he comes around the chicane right now. You can see that tire barrier that Aaron was talking about it in the chicane as some debris on the track, but it is enough out of the way where it's not going to stop the race, so the race goes on here. And ooh, Make It Rain taking a look there on Rigo for 7th place as well in the McLaren. So juicy little battles happening all over the place here. That's what we love to see. Let's get on board with Fluke here as he's, well, got a front row seat to the battle in front of him and trying to get into the backside of this battle as well. So let's hang it out here with our driver Fluke, our number 18 Ferrari driver here as well. Let's see if he can reel these guys in a little bit as they continue to battle. Make It Rain getting a little bit wide there, probably a little dirty air throwing the car out there. And he has really tucked in on that Mercedes, but then the Mercedes has gotten a good exit through corner when it kind of broke free from Make It Rain a little bit there in 8th place. So good little battle happening here, and all over the racetrack we got healthy little battles happening. So this will be a mid-pack battle between 7th, 8th, and 9th place. Currently, really right now, it's 7th and 8th place battling. Make It Rain getting a little bit sideways there, as the great No-Ladder Gaming would say. And but it looked like he got a pretty good exit through it too as well. So Fluke is just in behind, settling in. He's just trying to get on the backside of these guys, but you can see the caution. He's erring on the side of caution as well. If they start battling and the two drivers make a mistake to make contact, or one takes another one out by accident or something like that, then he has a little bit of time to hopefully react. So here we go, side by side, make a rim, got a great exit through the chicane, but the power of that Mercedes just gets him going better, and Fluke is going to take a look up the inside, but that's going to put him deep, and it's going to be a switchback from the Mercedes, and Fluke is going to get right on this. A little bit of tire rubbing right there between the two drivers, and Make It Rain's going to hold the position for now, so it's Make It Rain up into 7th place, it's Rigo here in 8th place, and Fluke, a little mistake made by the Mercedes there, and he's closed right up now on the backside of this Mercedes, and we are not going to leave this battle. Let's stick with this, but let's let the TV crew take over here for a minute, as this has been very, very healthy. We have Rigo trying to respond to Make It Rain in that battle, and that move just made a minute ago, and we got Fluke now involved in this three-way competition here for 7th place as well. So this is a great healthy battle here on, what are we, lap 9, so 55 minutes remaining in this race still, and healthy battles happening already. Whew. The number 18 Pro car is cruising, but a little bit of separation between the three now, so they're settling down a little bit here. They're just kind of reassessing that situation maybe between the two of them, and let's see if we can get on board with Rigo here, so he's kind of the middle car in that group. Come on, you know you want a game. There it is. Alright, we'll get on board with our 8th place driver here, the Mercedes, in this healthy three-way battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th place, and that's just going to give us a good camera view for this battle. So, Make It Rain and the Mercedes seem to be just a smidge better maybe around the racetrack than Fluke currently, as he's losing a little bit of pace behind these two again. So, the battle is kind of really between 7th and 8th place, Make It Rain and Rigo right now. And looks like that Mercedes is doing a pretty good job here at Donnington at holding it ground here against these MRs through these technical sectors. A straight line and that torque and the big power in these front engine, rear wheel drive cars, providing to be worthy opponents for these mid-rear engine cars here around the racetrack as well today. So very good balanced performance tuning happening here from the drivers. We got Critical coming out of pit lane in behind these drivers in that Honda NSX there as well. Now all three of these drivers still do have 2 pit stops remaining as well. So how that's going to factor into this three-way battle is yet to be decided. Maybe one of these guys might decide that they're just losing time battling. They might decide to take a pit lane just to try and get out into some clean air. It's really hard to say how they decide to make that first pit stop. They might just follow each other in. We'll have to wait and see. But nothing really happening here right now. Let's keep moving on. A little bit of frame rendering happening right there. It's B-Nave here in 17th. He's got Semestri just in behind in 18th by just about 7 seconds there. So got Fluka in 8th place. Where else we got? Griffin 283 and Tango 2 having a little battle here. So Griffin 283 kind of moving backwards a little bit here in the field so far tonight, but doing a pretty good job at holding top 10. But and we got another that red Ferrari is off the track there coming through the chicane. I'm not sure if it was just a little hard on the brakes there and got that car unsettled, but off the track there in a side-by-side action between Griffin and Tango here for 10th and 11th place. Griffin so far holding strong, but Tango is definitely giving him the business here, and it's BMW versus Ferrari here again as they battle around the double horseshoe. Here we go. Let's see who gets the better run there. Inside position does go to Tango 2, and he gets a great exit through there. So good corner right there for Tango 2, and they're side by side. But he is going to... a little bit of contact there between the two drivers. Ooh, a little bit more contact between the two drivers, and Tango 2 is going to slide up in front there. And some elbows out, tire rubbing racing happening here between these two right now, as Griffin's going to set back into 10th place, and Tango 2 is now going to take 9th place with what looks like be Critical making his second stop there. So it looks like back-to-back pit stop seems to be the strategy here in the race today. That's what we're seeing from a lot of the drivers. Lose all the time right on and then make it all back up for the remainder of their race potentially. Oh, we got a Ferrari out. Griffin 283, he is going for a ride, and he is on trajectory to potentially not do... Look at it, can he hold on to it? Oh, and he just about keeps that thing in the right line, but he's going to hook up into that tire wall there, and that is going to be, well, a little bit of time lost, potentially some front end damage to that Ferrari there, and he's going to have to resort that car out and get it back on track. So tough deal there for Griffin 283. Was definitely along for a ride there and did everything in his power to save it, and just couldn't quite gather it up. Got the BMW of GLR Racer there in 4th place in behind JDR here in the Lamborghini in 15th place right there, almost making a mistake coming around the final corner there, taking a little bit of extra exit there as well. Critical here in 10th place. He is in behind a car a lap down right now, and ahead of Arcano Marcio, now up into 11th place. So I said, watch out for that driver. He's a very consistent driver, and he always seems to find his way back up into that top 10 somehow, and he is just about right there right now. He's only just under 5 seconds behind it. So Critical's a fast driver though, so we'll see how long it takes before he reels in Tango 2, who's about 15 seconds ahead right now. MX blocks him as 4.7 second lead on Johnny B, who has Call Me CJ right on his tail, but is technically a blue flag car right now. That puts Kahlua 94 into 3rd place, and I believe this is his first race of the series. Here at the GT3 Summer Series as well. So GLR Seal here in 5th place, just behind teammate GLR Racer in 4th place. So these two doing quite well here around Donnington Park so far. Call Me CJ having a rough start to the race. He was one of the drivers we've seen go off the track, just where we've seen Griffin 283 actually go off the track and get into the tire wall, but at a much higher rate of speed. Tango 2 here up into 9th place now, so no pressure for him. Fluka is 12.9 seconds, 13 seconds up the road. A little bit quicker now, as you see that timing really jump up, but still up there and still sitting in the top 10 position, so top 10 points. GLR Racer coming in for a pit stop. We got Semestri here in 16th position. Blue flag car because he has made 2 pit stops. How that works out at the end of the race is hard to say if he's going to remain a blue flag race car or not, but 16th place currently as he comes around the first of the 2 double hairpins to make the start finish line for lap 12. So 50 minutes remaining. We're 20 minutes through our 70-minute endurance race here from the Infinite Racing League this evening, and it's been a pretty interesting one here so far. Our top 4 guys seem to be pretty settled in for the most part. They just have been doing their thing. Critical has opted to take an early pit strategy, so we'll see if that can work out for him, and that driver's just off into the background there as we see Semestri. We've got Arcano Marcio here, our 11th place driver. He's 7 seconds behind Critical right now in 10th place, and now it looks like GLR Racer here, so Critical has just made his way around GLR Racer because GLR Racer was in pit lane. So Arcano has some pressure from Butler Racing, but Butler Racing is a lap down, so no real immediate pressure in behind him. Make It Rain, he's in 5th place. He's 2.8 seconds in behind GLR Seal, and he has Rigo, the 6th place driver, 1.6 seconds in behind him. So Make It Rain still definitely feeling some pressure and trying to apply some pressure at the same time as he, again, reeling in the 4th place driver Seal up ahead of him. 28.8 so far, best lap for Make It Rain around the racetrack as well. So yeah, look, the drivers are looking good here. He's going to make a pit stop. He's going to bring it into pit lane and clear one of those pit stops. Rig Pig here is in 18th with 2 cleared pit stops. Of course, he did have a little bit of a spin there earlier on in the race as well. I'm not sure what's going on here, but we've got a driver all kinds of the wrong way in pit lane here. And this is quite a debacle here. Rigo's just waiting patiently. I'm not sure what happened there, but you don't see that too often. So, interesting action happening in pit lane there. Fluka all the way up into 5th place here now. So Fluka doing what Fluka does in that Ferrari and just driving that thing as hard and fast and quickly around the racetrack as he can, and he's got himself up into P5 right now. So lots of pit stops happening in front of him. He's had really only battled for a couple positions so far in his charge up through the field. So pretty good scenario here so far, and he's 5.9 seconds in behind GLR Seal right now. Griffin 283 seeing have that little excursion off-road there for a bit. Tuck just in behind Johnny B, our 2nd place driver, and Rigo is our 11th place driver, is a little bit behind, sitting in pit lane, still getting that surface. So hung up behind Make It Rain a little bit. He was sideways across pit lane entry there. Not sure what happened there, but nonetheless, both drivers held up a little bit, and going to cost both drivers just a little bit extra time in pit lane here. So they're going to have their work cut out for them tonight without a question of a doubt. All right, Butler in 17th, JDR in 12th place. We haven't seen too much of this driver here tonight. The blue and white Lamborghini here with what looks to be kind of lightning bolt style pattern on it. And he's next positional driver is Ripe Jazz in 11th place ahead. And that's about 8 seconds ahead here currently on the racetrack, 9 seconds on the live timer here. So Ripe Jazz, just as we talk about it, there's Ripe Jazz and the Honda NSX here ahead of JDR. And next position for him is about 20 seconds ahead right now. So pit stop strategy is definitely spreading the field out. Right now we've got Critico Basilico back in 6th place now. So has gone from 3rd to 10th to 6th place, but has 2 cleared pit stops. Where the majority of the field ahead of him does not have both their stops cleared yet. So ideally, the idea there is undercut strategy, make up the time on the racetrack. Do they stop? Hopefully I've made up that extra time. I can just leapfrog free positions, not have to battle for them, not wear the race car out any more than needed. We got Bloxham here in 1st place, 5.4 seconds on Johnny B in 2nd, and they've got about 20 seconds on 3rd place Kalu at 94 right now. He has Griffin and Fluke in between him and our 2 race leaders. GLR Seal in 4th place. He's just sitting in behind to Make It Rain here right now, and as the timing sorts itself all out, that is our 4th place driver. So I guess at some point Make It Rain is going to have to potentially give that position up, but if he's got the pace to stay ahead of the driver, then he can just continue on his merry little way and then hopefully not have to give the position up to Seal as he comes around. Call me CJ in pit lane. We've got Tango 2 coming around here. He's still got a pit stop owing as well, but he is sitting in 5th place currently now. 6th place driver Critico is only 10 seconds in behind him, so when he does opt to make that pit stop a bit soon, it will give that position up to Critico Basilico. GLR Racer in 7th place after making his pit stop. He was in 4th when he pits, only dropping down the field a couple positions here, but again, still owing yet one more pit stop. Semestri is in 15th. He's got both those stops cleared and did that quite early on here in the race. We've got Arcano Marcio here. He's got 1 pit stop cleared so far and sitting in 8th place. He's got, I'm not sure if that's Johnny B or Bloxham in behind him. I think it's Johnny B up in behind him here. It is Johnny B. It's our number 1 car. So, of course, our defending last season's champion. Make It Rain here in 13th position, and he's tucked right in behind JDR. This is a battle for position, and in behind them is GLR Seal. Now, GLR Seal is a lead lap traffic car essentially right now in this situation, and number 18's drive-through is cleared is what I'm seeing there. So again, this is tough. These 2 cars in front of GLR Seal are entitled to their battle. They're entitled to the racing line during their battle, and it really is kind of up to Seal to be decisive and smart and decide when he's going to pick his way through that fight in front of him. So it'd be interesting to see how this all happens here. Oh, there we go. JDR makes a mistake there. Make It Rain. Raim is going to grab that position, and now Make It Rain only needs to worry about GLR Seal up in behind here, who has definitely closed up on him. So let's see if Make It Rain allows him to get through easily here, if he's going to really make him work for that pass. But Make It Rain gets that position on JDR there, moves up into 12th place, and GLR Seal in 4th place, definitely are tucked right in behind the McLaren of Make It Rain right now, but doesn't seem too stressed out about being where he is. So just chilling in behind the McLaren driver right now. We got Rigo here in 14th. Where's B-Nave here in 17th. We've got Fluka is now in 11th with 1 pit stop cleared, still owing a pit stop, and 6.7 seconds from Ripe Jazz in behind. Griffin is a few seconds further up the road yet than that. So yeah, like I said, with 2 mandatory pit stops, tires and fuel are optional. There's no mandate on those pit stops. It just has to be 2 pit stops. Or of course, race control comes down and hands down some pretty heavy penalties at the end of the race for that, to the point where you might as well not stepped on the racetrack. So you definitely want to clear your pit stops. So how that all plays out at the end of the race is going to be interesting to see. We've got our race leaders who haven't made any stops yet. We've got some guys in the back of the pack that cleared their stops super early in the race, and we've seen a couple of guys in the mid-pack clear their stops already as well. So ooh, there we go. We got a healthy little cluster of cars happening here. 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th place drivers, something like that. Make It Rain, Ripe Jazz, and JDR. Now JDR's a little bit behind these 2, but Ripe Jazz and Make It Rain starting to close up with each other here again. Definitely within slipstream range for sure on the racetrack right now. So maybe a potential little battle going to start brewing between those two cars. Where are we at here? We're with Critico Basilico here, and he is just come up in behind Semestri right now in that Porsche in front of him there. Now that is a blue flag car, so we do suspect that he'll want to try and get around that car fairly quickly. It all depends again on the pace of that driver in front of him. Oh, he's going to go around. He's already looked up the inside, and a great job by Semestri there, just to, again, tiny little lift on the throttle there, and that was enough for Critico just to get on through, and Semestri could just continue on his race. So great job there by both those drivers. 9 seconds the gap between him and Tango 2. MX Bloxham is our race leader, and again Johnny B is in second place here. He's about 6 seconds in behind. And Kahlua at 94, the 22 Audi driver here in third place. So it is Audi right now sitting on the podium with a little over 40 minutes remaining in this race. GLR Seal here in fourth place, and he's got to make it rain right up on his back bumper here. Now this is an interesting situation because technically it's a blue flag car versus a lead lap car right now due to pit stop differences, but I guess again, you know, it's a tough spot to be in as that blue flag car, even though you're not necessarily a blue flag car come the end of the race because of the pit stop sequence and indifferences. But you still got to kind of respect those flag rules at the same time too. So it's a really tough racing right now, and this is what we're talking about, this race being so interesting here tonight. We're going to have a lot of lap traffic mixed in with different pit stop sequence traffic, and of course just guys making mistakes and having damage and having to go repair that damage traffic as well. So it's just a big whole lot of mess until about the last 10-15 minutes of the race, when we kind of have a defined idea where our grid is and what we're going to see for battles. So it's too early to really speculate or say who has the best shot at winning right now, but if I had to make that call right now, Critico Basilico looks like he's in a good position right now, sitting up in the top 6 places and both pit stops cleared. So I guess we'll have to see if that works out for him. GLR Racer, 11th place BMW driver here, doing a fantastic job as well. Both his pit stops are cleared as well, so I mean, lots of position to be grabbed here, and he's in the fight with some of these drivers here as well as he's cleared that final pit stop. So Ripe Jazz, Make It Rain, and Fluka all just up ahead of him, and that's all within 10-second window here. So I guess battle on between this driver and the drivers up in front. Now the drivers don't necessarily know who's cleared what for pit stops yet either, so each driver behind the wheel is really kind of only speculating unless they've seen those drivers make 2 pit stops, you know, whether or not they have a stop to make yet. So you can't assume that that driver in front of you has to make a stop. You got to assume that they've cleared their pit stops, and you just got to catch them and pass them. Arcano Marcio here in 7th place, still has a pit stop to clear here as well. He, again, just consistency, really working out for this driver. The driver always comes in, just sticks to his race plan, and it just, you know, good consistency, has good clean races, and seems to be finishing pretty well here so far in the series, and we love to see that. So we got Make It Rain here in 9th place, and Fluke just up ahead by 1.2 seconds now, 2 seconds clear, as they come into the double hairpin right-hander, moving into the double hairpin left-hander for the start-finish line. And there's some good racing happening here. Drivers starting to close back up a little bit. So Rigo 3.2 seconds in behind JDR. That is eventually going to be a battle for position if he can catch up to the Lamborghini driver up in front. B-Nave here, next positional car, is a little ways away. He's had a rough race here so far, but he's still on track. He's still putting in the time. He's still putting in the seat time. The crew's continuing to put that car out on the track. So it all comes down to practice makes perfect. So still on track doing his thing here today. We started with 20. We're down to 18. Fluka here in 8th place, and now on the backside of the 4th place driver, GLR Seal here. So again, does he choose to try and get around Seal, or does he just sit there? Eventually at some point he's going to have to figure that out, because Make It Rain is just off in the distance there trying to catch up, and again that will end up being a battle for position. So decisions. Griffin 283 here, he's just ahead of GLR Seal. This is a blue flag car, quote unquote, right now, as the 4th, 8th, and 9th place drivers are just starting to kind of catch up to him here. So and it doesn't necessarily mean that any of these drivers are off pace. You can see that Seal in behind, not exactly having an easy time catching up to the Ferrari in front of him there. So, I mean, the drivers are on pace. It's just, again, the pit stop sequence has everybody kind of out of position currently on the racetrack. So once that all sorts itself out, we can really get down to business and see what we're sitting at for potential winners, potential battles going to the end of the race. Critical here at 6th place, 7.8 seconds on Tango 2, so slowly but surely bleeding time away, but not in too large a chunks, just little bits at a time here as he comes around. So it is MX Blocks. I mean, he's doing a pretty good job at managing a nice solid 6-second gap here right now on Johnny B. But him and the second place driver Johnny B both still owe 2 pit stops here as well. Kahlua 94, much of the same thing, our 3rd place Audi as well. He also still has 2 pit stops remaining. GLR Seal in 4th place still has 2 pit stops remaining. At some point, the drivers are going to have to make these pit stops. Tango 2 has 1 left. GLR Racer, he's cleared him. He's in 10th place. 9th place Make It Rain is 4.1 seconds up the road. Seems like Make It Rain is gaining some more time on the BMW driver right now. Griffin, looks like he made a bit of a mistake coming out of that last corner, and he's just going to allow that BMW to slot up ahead there. So great job by Griffin there. Semestre here in 13th, Porsche driver, number 171 Porsche driver here, as we're on lap 21. We still have 35 minutes remaining, so we're almost at the halfway mark of this race here now. We have Akano Amarcio here in 7th position, and just doing his thing, man. Next positional driver, a little ways away. Make It Rain in 9th place, Rigo in 12th. We've got B-Nave and Tango 2. Tango 2 is our 5th place driver here currently right now, so Tango 2 is probably going to be looking to try and get around the Ferrari here at the most convenient available time. He's going to get a nice tight corner there, get a good exit. Let's see if he does it heading through the S's here before heading into that middle sector. Halfway into the race now says race control there, so... Ooh, BMW getting a little bit wide there, a little bit of dirty air factory in there, lifting that car up just a little bit on the front end. You can see B-Nave just allowing Tango 2 to get through right before heading into the S's there, so it's kind of where I figured we'd see it happen. So GG's to both those drivers. And here we go, Fluka, Make It Rain, getting very close together here, nose to tail, and they're just tucked in behind again that 4th place driver GLR Seal. So we were talking about this just a few minutes ago. At some point, does Fluka decide he's got the pace on that driver and try to get around that driver, or does he just chill in behind that driver and allow Make It Rain to catch up? Now that is the situation. Make It Rain has caught back up to these 2 drivers and potentially in a position to fight Fluka for that position here. So let's see what let's see what happens. Let's stick with it. Let's stick with it. Oh, and Fluke is, you know what, he's just going to make the smart call here. He's just going to clear that final pit stop. He's just going to dive into pit lane. He doesn't like the situation at hand. He's just going to jump in. He's going to clear that final pit stop and hopefully come out in some clean air. So a racing decision made there by Fluka. And quite frankly, I think a pretty smart one right there. As things were, I think, about to get a little bit chaotic and start to cost that driver some time on the racetrack just battling. So let's go clear that pit stop. Let's get that out of the way. And let's continue on, hopefully moving up the field after that. So get a little bit of a decision made there by the Italian car driver. Alright, we got Ripe Jazz and Bloxham here coming up into the hairpin. Ripe Jazz just giving the space there to our race leader as he gets around him there. Bloxham taking a little bit extra curbing there. He almost got himself wiped out, but a great job there by those 2 drivers. Critical Basilico now up into 5th place here. And there's a little bit of time definitely up to the next positional driver, at least 24 plus seconds. But again, cleared both his pit stops. So we're starting to see a lot of green in beside the driver's names, which means they are cleared. They are good to go. They are not required to make any more pit stops this race. And we have some drivers that have not yet. GLR Seal is one of those drivers. So it looks like the top 4 on a similar strategy here. And I guess we'll have to see when they decide to make that change. But Make It Rain now is the driver tucked in behind GLR Seal here. Tango 2 in 6th place. He's been having a good race here for himself so far tonight. and looking to continue on moving up through the field here as well. GLR Racer now up into 8th place here, and another driver. This driver was up in the top 5 at the beginning of the race, and he's just dropped back a few spots after making and clearing his 2 required pit stops, and now charging back up through the field. Semestri here in 13th. This driver cleared both their pit stops super early in the race and back up making some positions here now, and he's just sitting in behind the race leader there as well. Arcano Marcio in pit lane here, sitting in 11th position, actually just coming out of pit lane here. Make It Rain here in 7th position. We've got Rigo in 10th. Got Slash Gaming coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. How you doing, Slash, my guy? Much love. We appreciate you, my dude. All right, so Rigo and JDR. This is a battle for position, and it's a good battle for position. Very close together here, 0.4 seconds, so 0.4 of a second right now is the gap between the Mercedes and the Lamborghini. And it is battle on. Both drivers still owe a pit stop here as well. So side by side as they're coming into the corner. No, Rigo just backs it out just a little tiny bit here. Lamborghini's going to go really short. Mercedes is going to give him the space and still get a pretty good exit there. So he is going to end up on the inside here coming into the next sector. So interesting battle happening here. He's on the outside coming into the right-hander. Can he hold it on the outside? Lamborghini's going to eat a little grass. Going to give him a good run. But that might give him that oh so bad track limit warning. He's going to get the position back there. He's not going to take it that way. So kudos to JDR right there. A little bit of sportsmanship being shown on the racetrack. He made a mistake, realized he made a mistake, get the position back. So battle is finished for the time being. Rigo's going to move up in the 9th. JDR is going to go into 10th place. Benave here in 16th. We've got Fluka here in 11th. And Sumestri is just in behind by 2.4 seconds. So Fluka now clearing his stops as well. Butler Racing in 15th, having a tough start to his race here, and 4.4 seconds off Ripe Jazz right now, so still battles up in front of him. JDR is in 10th. We just seen a good healthy little battle there. Let's see where Critico is. Let's stick with Critico here. Kahlua at 94 now has made 1 pit stop, so that has put that driver only within 2 seconds of Critico here. So Critico has cleared both the pit stops. Doesn't need to necessarily stop this race unless something drastic happens to him here at this point. So the Honda NSX driver, again, looking to be in a pretty good position here. And that's only going to put him just what looks to be under 20 seconds in from behind Johnny B there in 3rd place as well. Stefan coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love, my brother. Double support coming in from Mr. Slash. Alright, so Critico 1.5 seconds is that gap now on Kahlua 94. Very slowly but surely, he's just picking away at that Audi driver, and it is, you know, a 1-2-3 Audi podium there for a while. So it is Bloxham here in 1st place, 1 pit stop cleared. It is Johnny B in 2nd with 1 pit stop cleared. GLR Seal still in 3rd place, but still owes 2 full pit stops yet. And then that leaves Kahlua 94 and Critico here almost battling for 3rd and 4th and 5th place at this point. But again, Kahlua is still got to make 1 of those pit stops, so Critico is just chilling here right now in a pretty decent position. GLR Seal coming in to finally clear 1 of those 2 pit stops is required here in our 70-minute race today. And that brings us up to Tango 2, sitting in 6th place, BMW driver here, number 26 Pro driver. And coming around that double right-hander, and that leads us into double left-hander to the start-finish line. He's got Ripe Jazz in behind, he's got Butler Racing up ahead, both blue flag cars. Next positional driver is about 25 seconds up the road here currently as he comes around the final corner to start lap 27. And that takes us with 28 minutes and about 15 seconds remaining in the race here today. GLR Racer moving on through our field, letting our camera guys do what our camera guys do, man. They just keep bringing us to racing action. So great job, of course, to all the camera crews on site here today for providing the best angles that they can get to us here today. We have GLR Racer in 8th place. He is tucked up in behind 2nd place driver Johnny B and just outside slipstream range at this point. Alright, Semestri 2.1 seconds in behind Fluka. Marcio is 5.5 seconds in behind Semestri. Make It Rain is in pit lane. Rigo is in 8th place. He has JDR about 7 seconds in behind. And the next positional driver is GLR Racer up ahead, and that's 12 seconds and the pit stop's cleared. So I'm not sure when Rigo's opting to make that next pit stop, but definitely he's got his work cut out for him to catch a GLR Racer at this point. Got B-Nave at 16th, cleared both his pit stops. Fluke has got both stops cleared as well, currently sitting in 10th place, 12 seconds in behind JDR, who does still owe a pit stop. Butler Racing cleared his pit stops early on in the race, sitting in 14th currently. JDR, our 9th place driver, who has Fluke at 11 seconds in the background, still owes a pit stop here, and lots of time, 26 minutes remaining, so as long as that stop is cleared and they're out before that timer runs out, that will be good enough. Ripe Jazz here in 15th. Critico now up into 4th place and closing in 1 second to Kahlua here. So Kahlua, I'm not sure how he pronounces that, but the gap closing as that Honda NSX continues to push up the racetrack here. I still can't quite see that timing gap from him to second place driver Johnny B, but it's going to be close. I think Critico is going to be just in behind or just in front of Johnny B and blocks him when they finally do decide to make those pit stops. It's 20.2 seconds right now from Critico to Johnny B, so we'll have to see what he's got. Our pole sitter blocks him here. Our race leader. Our pole sitter was Johnny B, if I'm not mistaken, but blocks him now, leading the way here. And again, another worthy competitor here in the series is MX Bloxham. He's a very quick driver, and it seems like him and Johnny B just have these Audis figured out. And our second place driver Johnny B, so as he just goes by the tires off the side of the track there, you can see it's close, but it's not too close there, but it's enough to be a little bit of a visual distraction for the driver. So the driver is doing a great job of not letting those tires really distract what's going on coming into the braking zones here, as of course that could end up making for some interesting endeavors if a driver were to get distracted in a battle per se, because they were looking at some tires on the racetrack. Kahlua here, he's just holding Critico off here, still just fighting off that second gap here right now currently on this driver, and pretty closely paced are these two drivers here it seems. So but at the end of the day, that third place driver still owes a pit stop here, and let's see if he makes it here this time around. It's going to continue on around the racetrack. Alright, so it's GLR Seal in 5th place, still owes a pit stop. Tango 2 in 6th place, 17.4 seconds in behind, so Tango 2 is looking to maybe potentially grab a free position from this driver when he does make that stop. And speaking of Mr. Tango 2 himself here in 6th place, now he's got Butler Racing and Make It Rain up in front in 13th to 12th place, but GLR Seal really is the target for him right now. 16 seconds up the road, waiting and ideally hoping that driver makes another pit stop. Really, he doesn't, again, ideally necessarily know how many stops that driver's made, so these drivers just have to keep pushing and keep running their laps and keep running their paces in order to try and gain on that driver, because they don't know if there's a stop left or not for the drivers in front or behind. GLR Racers in 7th, Semestries in 10th, Arcanos in 11th, and about 10 seconds off the top 10 there. Make It Rain here in 12th, with Butler Racing not too far in behind. We've got Rigo here in 15th position, and about 9 seconds down the road from Ripe Jazz. B-Nave here is in 16th place and rocking and rolling. So here we go. Fluka in that purple and blue Ferrari, one of my favorite colors on the track here, as well as this Ferrari. So we love to see it. Don't see teammate Darmel on track here this week, and then Darmel been struggling a little bit with this Ferrari here so far in the series. So maybe just taking a break from the car for the week, and hopefully we'll see him back next week. But number 18 driver Fluka right now, as he's coming around the final corner to start lap 30 and 22 minutes remaining in the race, doing a pretty good job here, holding down top 10 currently right now. He's got JDR 7 seconds up the road and Semestri chasing just off in the background there, roughly about 3.5 seconds in behind. So Butler Racing, our 13th place driver, 5 seconds in behind his next positional battle, and nobody position wise chasing at the moment. JDR, he's chilling right now. He's in no man's land. He's got nobody immediately in front and in behind. He's got clean air, open racetrack. Just needs to keep putting in his laps here right now and just kind of monitor that gap to the 9th place Ferrari driver in behind. Rape Jazz again in 11th. Let's see, Critico here and closing in on that Audi bit by bit, lap by lap. He just continues to peel a half a tenth, a half a tenth, a tenth, a half a tenth away. And he's starting to get himself into a position where he's maybe going to make something happen here. We'll have to wait and see. But battle for 3rd and 4th place right here between the 52 and 22 race cars on the racetrack. Audi versus NSX here right now. Let's see how it goes down. Oh, and we're going to see the Audi dive in and make the pit stop. So there it is. So it's going to be a freebie for Critico. He doesn't have to fight for that position. That is ideal for him. And now 24 seconds up the road is Johnny B in 2nd place, who still owes a pit stop. MX Bloxham, our race leader, also still owes a pit stop, but much further ahead and up the road than Johnny B is from Critico. So going to be interesting to see. Alright, GLR Seal, also another driver who still owes one more stop yet this race. He has got to make it this time around, but it'll be interesting to see what he does. The next, again, position driver is Tango 2, and that's about 16 seconds down the road. So Tango 2 is chipping away at the gap in between those two drivers here, lap by lap as well. Racer here in 7th place, he's cleared both pit stops as well, so looking to maybe take advantage on some hopeful needed pit stops up in front of him still. Semestri in 10th place, holding down that top 10 now. Fluka up ahead 4.1 seconds in 9th, and Acarno Marcio in behind by 15 seconds. So no immediate pressure in behind. Top 10 finish is always a good finish. Arcano in 11th, 266 white, yellow, white, gold, and blue Porsche, I guess. Again, just outside that top 10, about 13 seconds in behind the 10th place driver here right now. See if he can get in. All right, make it rain in 12th place. Pardon me, I needed a second there, apparently. Rego here in 15th position, and we're getting there. We're getting there. 20 minutes remaining here. As these pit stop sequences really kind of start to filter out with the last couple of remaining drivers owing pit stops, we're going to start to see the fields tighten up a little bit. And I think we're going to start seeing the drivers really start to push. So, and in this case, we got Fluka now down only 2.2 seconds from JDR up ahead. So maybe a mistake made by JDR, but that gap went from a decent sized gap to not a very big gap at all. So this may be the point in time where JDR just opts to make that pit stop here as well, potentially, and just get out of that whole battle thing, get some clean air, and hopefully try to make up as much ground as he can in the final few remaining minutes of the race. Butler Racing here in 13th. He's up in behind B-Nave right now. JDR here in 8th place with Fluka in 9th. And Fluke is closing in. Oh, a mistake made there by JDR coming into the chicane, and that's going to allow Fluke really to close in here now. You can see Fluke is right on top of that Lamborghini there with that mistake in the chicane. He's going to have some dirt on his tires there, so you can see JDR is just making the smart call here. He's just going to get out of the way of Fluke and scrub those tires off and get back in the fight. So good racing decision made there by the Lamborghini driver. Fluke is going to move up into 8th place. May very well see a pit stop come from JDR here there at that moment as well now with that mistake. And of course pit lane entry just around the corner. So Ripe Jazz here in 14th. Again, Critico now in 3rd place. So here we go. 21 seconds is the gap from Johnny B. It was 24. It keeps dropping and growing a little bit here, but is it enough to grab that position when Johnny B decides to pit? MX Bloxham here. He is coming around the double right-hander right now. He is the fastest man on the racetrack as well with a 27.605 registered lap here in the race tonight. So always a plus to have that fastest lap. And there we go. Our race leader now coming into pit lane. That's going to give Johnny B the lead as he comes around, unless he decides to go into pit lane as well. Johnny B is going to take it around again, so Johnny B is going to assume the race lead over MX Bloxham here. So New race leader Johnny B, but again still owing a pit stop. Now Kahlua 94, he's cleared both his stops now. He's 30 seconds in behind Critico. Might be settling for a 4th place finish here today. GLRCL still in 5th place. Again, same thing, has to make a pit stop here at some point. Tango 2 here is in 6th place, and he's been having a pretty good race, and when that driver does make that pit stop, this might be where he grabs a 5th place. GLR Racer, 14th position, in 7th position here, and good to go. So it's just kind of put his paces in. Semestri here in 9th place, Fluka up into 8th. We've got Arcano here still in 11th, but Make It Rain now, our 10th place driver, is only 2.1 seconds up ahead here, so potential battle for 10th place developing there. We've got Rigo here in 15th. Let's get back, see where is Fluka here. Fluka's kind of doing his own thing here right now. 7th place is about 30 seconds ahead, so Butler Racing in 12th, JDR in 13th, we got Ripe Jazz in 14th, and it's Critical here. So Bloxham is 7 seconds in the good, 8, 9, looks like about 9 seconds in the good over Critico here. Now Johnny B still needs to make a pit stop as well, the race leader, so these two drivers may leapfrog over that driver when he does make that final pit stop. It'll be interesting to see. Let's see if Critical can reel Bloxham in a bit here as well. Bloxham, I can't tell what the gap is from Johnny B, but he's moving, he's on the charge, and he's got GLR Racer just up in front here, but it is only what looks to be about 20 some seconds from Johnny B currently. Less than 16.5. So with our race leader, we're going to stick with Johnny B here, as he's now the fastest man on the racetrack with a 127.550. So just stealing that fastest lap point from his teammate MX Bloxham there as well that last time around. So ooh, no love lost here, that's for sure. These drivers want to win, and they are putting it out there. But Johnny B potentially maybe waiting just a little too long to make that pit stop here tonight. We'll have to see how that works out for him. But I'm just a commentator. I'm not the racer. They know more than I know. So Kahlua here in 4th place, and that, like I said, might be where it sits. GLRCL coming in to clear his final stop with just under 15 minutes remaining. Tango 2 is coming around. Let's see if he can grab that spot here. And Tango 2 does grab that spot, so it is going to be up into 5th place for Tango 2. Seal is going to come out, it looks like, to be in 6th place. And GLR Racer is going to settle in behind there in 7th. So Semestri in 9th with Fluka in 8th. Make It Rain in 10th with Arcano Marcio in 11th. Butler Racing in 12th. Make It Rain right there in 10th place. We've got Rigo and the Mercedes here in 15th. We got B-Nave in 16th. Mr. and Mrs. DC Gaming up in the house. Hope you guys and gals are doing well as well. Welcome in. Welcome in. We appreciate y'all. Hope you're doing fantastic this evening. So it is Fluka, and I mean, Fluka's chilling. He's got some space in between. Butler Racing, much of the same thing. JDR is chilling. Ripe Jazz is chilling. Critico is 8 seconds in behind MX Bloxham. I mean, we're kind of keeping our eye on this, because when our race leader finally makes that final pit stop, he may lose a position to this driver here as well. So he may give 2nd place up to this driver, just due to the difference in pit strategies between the two here today. MX Bloxham looking to take the race lead back from Johnny B when he makes that pit stop. He has led the majority of this race here today as well. So Johnny B, our race leader, let's see if it's this time around that he decides to bring it into pit lane and clear that pit stop as he comes around the final corner. It doesn't appear that that's going to be the case, and he may very well take this on the very last lap. It's going to be interesting to see what he's thinking here right now. Just trying to find a battle for everybody here. We don't have a lot going on right now. I thought that the pit strategy was going to kind of close these guys up a little bit, but in fact that's not the case. Semestri up at the 9th place. Make It Rain is now 6 seconds up ahead of Arcano, so a little mistake made maybe by Marcio at some point here. Butler Racing 6.4 seconds in behind these two, so no real immediate threat there in behind as well. So it doesn't need to be worrying what's going on in behind. Maybe still has time, 12.5 minutes remaining in the race to catch up to this driver up ahead of him here. It's anything's possible. Rigo and Ripe Jazz here getting close together now, so 15th and 14th place drivers getting a little tucked up nice and tidy here, as they're about 2 seconds apart as well. Alright, does the race leader come in this time? He kind of made it look like he was going to, but he opts not to, so I really do think this is going to be a very, very late pit stop coming from Johnny B here tonight. Alright, we're just trying to find something happening here. We don't have a whole lot happening here right now. Everybody's just enough spread out to where we don't have any real immediate battles happening. Ripe Jazz and Rigo is kind of the closest thing we got happening. Joe, who coming in with the thumbs up. How you doing, my dude? Mr. Joe. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I just shut down the IRL YouTube dashboard by accident, but that's alright. The stream is still running. We just shut the dashboard down. Nothing major there. 1.5 seconds remaining in the distance between Jazz and Rigo here. So Jazz is slowly but surely trying to reel that Mercedes in. Let's keep going here. Let's see what we got here. Just monitoring some time gaps. Sit on board with Ripe Jazz here for a minute or two around the racetrack here, as again, this is really kind of the closest thing we have to a battle right now on the racetrack is actually between our 14th and 15th place drivers here on the track right now, as we have 10 minutes remaining. Only separated by a couple of seconds here, so it'll be interesting to see if the NSX can tighten up here. Mercedes seems to be continuing to open up that gap a little bit, so Johnny B's now made that pit stop. Bloxham has now jumped ahead of Johnny B. As Johnny B's made that pit stop, we're continuing to watch. GLR Racers jumped ahead of Johnny B in the pit lane. Where is Critical? Critical is going to jump up into a P2 position here. So Critical Basilico taking a different strategy here, and it may have paid off for him as he sits in second place, but Johnny B is only a couple seconds in behind him. So with 9 minutes remaining, we're definitely going to see a fight potentially between these two drivers before the end of this race. Bloxham now takes that race lead back, and he's got about a 12-second gap. So Johnny B in third place. Let's jump on with this driver here. We know that there's a battle coming here if he can catch up to Basilico in front. Equally paced drivers, so sit on board with our third place driver for a minute. He's also still the fastest guy on the racetrack there, 127.447. So he potentially has the pace to reel Critico in. Now, I wasn't sure what that gap difference was going to be. This is quite close, so definitely potentially going to see. Oh, we've got Semestri off the track there in the Porsche. Not sure what happened there, but that's going to cost him some time, maybe a position or two there, as, again, Marcio maybe just going to sneak right up into that top 10 there. Alright, great onboard shot of Johnny B here, and that gap staying pretty steady right now. It's just about around that 2-second mark, 1.5, so pretty equally paced driving here. Oh, come on, there we go. Pretty equally paced driving here so far from these two drivers. So we're gonna keep an eye on this just for a second. We're gonna keep going through the field here real quick, see what we see. You never know what we're gonna see. Sometimes all of a sudden craziness happens. So Semestri here in 9th place, definitely gives some time up. Arcano is still 10 seconds in behind Make It Rain. Make It Rain in 10th. We got Rigo here in 14th, and I don't see 15th place driver too close in behind here all of a sudden, so something must have happened there. B-Nave in 16th, Fluka here in 8th. We got Butler in 12th place in that Lamborghini, JDR in the other Lamborghini in 13th. Ripe Jazz in a NSX here in 15th. So that's what happened. I'm not sure what happened to Ripe Jazz there, but boy oh boy, here we go. Battle on. Critical, Basilico, and Johnny B. So the last 7 minutes of this race, and this is battle for podium positions here, 2nd and 3rd place. And it is going to be battle on here. Going defensive was Critical there around that hairpin and forcing Johnny B the long way around. So Johnny B is just sitting in behind right now, just applying that pressure and waiting for an opportunity and an opening, a moment to try and get around Critical here. And you can see that BMW is just getting out of the way of this. Racer's like, yeah, I ain't want nothing to do with this. Let these guys go and let these guys continue their battle. So coming around turn 1 here on lap 42, it is nose to tail racing here from 2nd and 3rd place driver Critical, Basilico, and Johnny B banging. Now the question is, do they work together, try to see if they can close up the race leader Bloxham, who's 10 seconds up the road, or do they just fight this out? Bloxham's had pretty incredible pace all race long, but he can still, he's only human, he can make a mistake. So I guess it's going to come down to what these two drivers decide to do, and it looks like Johnny B is going to take a look there. He just does not have a nose in, so he's going to settle back in behind it. Critical doing all the right things right now, putting the car in all the right places. Johnny B just not quite able to find his way around here right now. Critical doing a great job here in 2nd place, and it's been a couple of tough race finishes for this driver here to start this series off, but looking strong here today at Donnington Park. And what a battle, what a battle. Never disappoint. There's always a great juicy battle right to the end of the race, and tonight is between 2nd and 3rd place without a question of a doubt. So here we go. Critico and Johnny B fighting it out to see who's going to stand on the taller step on the podium. MX blocks him right now. He's got that top step locked down. He's about 11 seconds up the road, but again, that could change too. Lap traffic could come into play in this race yet. There's still plenty of time for that to happen. 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, and right now the green NSX is holding off defending champion Johnny B here for 2nd place. But boy, there's some great racing, some great defending, some great driving here between these two drivers right now, and let's keep watching it because this is beautiful stuff happening in front of our eyes right here, folks. And that gap has just been within a car length for about the last lap and a half here now between Johnny B and Critical. Yeah, this is some good racing. You can see Johnny B's changing up his lines through the corners a little bit, making sure he's keeping some clean air in the front end of that Audi. That's allowing him to keep the turns nice and tight. Again, he got a little bit of a better line through there than Critical. Critical goes full defensive here. Is he going to get a little bit of a switcheroo here? No, a little bit of a wiggle coming from that Audi driver right there, and that's going to actually cost him a little bit of time and give Critical just a second of breathing room here to reset up his position here in 2nd place. Johnny B had him guessing a little bit there and just could not capitalize on it. So the games are definitely being played between these two drivers right now. A little bit of weave, a little bit of bob, a little bit of put of a nose in here, poke a nose there, and see if I can get that driver just to open up a little bit. So some great battling happening between two very good pro drivers here. Critical again going defensive coming into the hairpin. Johnny B looking for a cutback. Can he get it done this time? No. Critical again does a pretty good job of cutting it off and not really given the opportunity there. So yeah, again, Critical's just putting that NSX in all the right places here right now as we're coming around these corners. There's zero room on these apexes for Johnny B to get an inside track. So here we go, 3 minutes and 47 seconds remaining, and we're still nose to tail here in 2nd and 3rd place as we are getting very close to finishing our 70-minute round 3 endurance at Donnington Park here again, presented by Infinite Racing League, partnered with Coach Dave Academy. Find him on SimGrid, ladies and gentlemen. But all right, back to this battle here for 2nd and 3rd place, and Johnny B's applying all kinds of pressure here to Critical, and Critical is just answered the call. Cool, calm, collected cucumber, this guy right now in behind the wheel is Honda NSX. Lap traffic coming into play, and he's getting out of the way. He's like, nope, all you guys go ahead. I'm just gonna get out of the way. A great job there by Rigo as well. He's like, yeah, no, I ain't want no part of this battle. I'm out. You guys go ahead. And he absolutely just allowed these guys to get around. So battle is on, and boy, right down to the wire is this race. So Critical with the early strategy here, and it gained him that one position, and he's in a fight for his life to keep it here now from Johnny B. And 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here as we're getting near the end of this lap here as well. We're going to have about 2 more to go after this time around. And again, defensive coming into the corner. Johnny B's looking again, gets a good run. He's got a better run this time. He's right on that back bumper of that NSX. He wasn't looking for that cutback, but he definitely got a great run. And Critical's just going to park it on the curb here again. He's just going to try not to let Johnny B. Johnny B got a little bit wide there. Maybe looking for a bigger exit here. Or maybe he's setting something up here. Maybe there's something that he's noticed in Critical here. And there's a spot on the racetrack. He's going to try and set up a move here. But right now, Critical opened up that gap just a tiny little bit on third place driver Johnny B. And he's giving himself just a smidge. And I mean a smidge of breathing room here, as this race is getting very near, and 2 minutes left on the clock. Just going to be second last lap around the racetrack for sure here this time. And these guys are still fighting it out for second and third place here, and I'm not sure where fourth place is in behind this mix, but these guys are doing some good battling here, and these are again 2 really good professional drivers here on the racetrack today, and they are showing it in this battle. Nose to tail racing for the last 4 laps around this racetrack, and Johnny B closing right back up in behind Critical again as we head into the final couple sectors of this racetrack. So here we go again. Can Johnny B get a nose in somewhere? Can he find some room? Can he get an opening coming through the chicane? Can he get a run? Good exit by both drivers. Boy, oh boy, these 2 are so closely paced. And Johnny B is going to go up the inside. He's just not quite going to have enough. He can't get the nose in there, but he is going to take a look up the inside this time, and they are not quite side by side. He just can't quite get it done, and the NSX is just going to power it out. He's just going to hold off Johnny B here as we're coming around for the final lap. A white flag will wave to these drivers when they come around the start-finish line here. The leader has started his final lap, and it is all or nothing here now for Johnny B in third place. He is going to put the pressure on now. Audi versus NSX. Let's go. Woo, doggy, we have a fight on our hands here, and this is fun, Chad. This is why we do what we do. Look at these 2 go. This has been an incredible race finish here from these 2 drivers, putting on a show for the fans here at the end, and this is not done yet. This is going to go right down to the checkered flag without a question of a doubt. Can Critical hold off Johnny B? What do you think, chat? Ooh, we in for it. There we go. Johnny B taking a look. He's like, he's always had a better run through this sector. He is in beside Critical. Critical has the inside defensive line coming through this corner. Can Johnny B get it done? He's tucked right up in behind that NSX, and immediately Critical goes defensive here. This is a fight as he comes in around the corner. We're coming into the chicane. Is that going to get Johnny B side by side here? Not quite. He's hung up on the outside. A little bit of a slide there from the Audi. Can he recover that? Can he make something happen here before the end of the race? That might have been the time that Critical needed there to fend Johnny B off as we come through the chicane here. These 2 have been nose to tail every time around, but that little bit of a slide there from Johnny B coming into that sector there might have just cost him his attempt at second place. Let's see what happens here as we're coming through. Johnny B is going to be looking for a big wide entry and a big exit here. He's going to close right back up on the back door of that NSX, and let's see what happens here. He's going to set it up the same thing. He's going for the big wide entry here. He's going to be looking for that tight exit and a great close up there, but it is going to be Critical Basilico who's just going to hold off Johnny B for third place. And boy, what a fight for that podium right there, folks. MX Bloxon coming in with the race win right there. Huge win. He's going to go throw down some donuts for everybody. So let's stick with our race winner here, MX Bloxon, as he goes tears up a little bit of grass here at Donnington Park in that winning Audi machine. But boy, oh boy, was the show in behind him between the second and third place driver, Critical Basilico, and Johnny B. Wow, that's how you finish a race at Donnington Park. Let me tell you, everybody watching at home, that was beautiful. That was a beaut. Alright, we got to open up some Discord here. We're going to go jump into the driver interview chat. Yep, that's the one. Alright, I got to find it again. That's the one. Whew. Alright, chat. That was some racing right there. Oh, wrong button. Let me tell you, that was the good stuff. That was a great race finish right there. We weren't sure how that was all going to sort itself out, but it is going to be MX Bloxham with the race win. Critical Basilico in second place. Johnny B in third with fastest lap as well. Kilua 94 in fourth place. Tango 2 in fifth. GLR Seal and GLR Racer will finish sixth and seventh place. Fluka will finish eighth. Semestri will be in ninth. Make It Rain will be in 10th. Arcano Marcio in 11th. Butler Racing in 12th. GDR in 13th. Regal in 14th. Ripe Jazz in 15th. B-Nave in 16th. Griffin 283 in 17th, Rig Pig in 18th, Call Me CJ in 19th, and Rapid Duck didn't finish the race. He did start it though, it looked like. So 20 drivers started, and it looked like 15 finished. So GG's 16 finished. Sorry. So GG's to the field here tonight. And congratulations to MX Bloxham, Critico Basilico, and Mr. Johnny B for, well, putting on a heck of a show at the end of that race, that's for sure. GG's. Let's get back over to this screen. We'll let you guys hang out with a little beautiful video made by Make It Rain here, and then we'll get to some driver interviews.
Chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. Look, taking the lead, we don't follow. We need it now, not tomorrow. Don't care what they say, not changing the pace. Working too hard to be last in the race. So much time in the day, and it ain't none to waste. Working this hard to be one of the greats. Whatever it takes, put that on the plate. Life is a gamble, we raising the stakes. Moving the bar up so high. Been on our grind, for life. Bringing the light, future so bright. We shining, platinum sound cool, but we trying to reach diamond. Hard work pays off, that's perfect timing. Changing the world with this rhyming, it's priceless. We got the nicest by putting the time in. Can't be the greatest, I'm not even trying. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up.
Man, I lost track of time. I apologize, Mama. Go ahead and eat without me. I'm still on the grind.
I ain't touching home base by dinner time. All I can see is the finish line. Started, I gotta finish mine. It's get it time, anytime, hella long. I've been in line, I didn't mind at all. Wake and bake won't take a break at all. That's on my word, my boss. Naming lights, gon' have to pay me twice or pay me no mind, and I don't mind at all. My grind is green, I am my job to inspire. I'm right behind GOTA. Line has been fired by a chain for a time. I ain't get hired, second wind kicked in, I probably won't get tired. Kevin Gates or Kevin Bacon, only 6 degrees of separation between me and the next level of elevation. Perseverance, the art of dedication.
What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted.
All right, a nice, lovely little introduction video there, provided by the Infinite Racing League. It has some really great video right there. So huge love to Make It Rain, our McLaren driver in the field here in the GT3 Summer Series, who is the mastermind behind that absolutely amazing intro video here, provided by IRL for us to play on the stream. So we do have Bloxham up in the house. We'll go talk to Bloxham here for a minute while we wait for Johnny B and see if he pops in. He may or may not. Sometimes the drivers don't come in for the interviews. That's entirely up to them. It's not a mandatory thing, of course. So just give me a second to crank up some volume so you guys can hear the gentlemen as they are rocking and rolling. And we'll go like this, and we'll go like this. All right, there we go. Finally got the right buttons pushed and everything all dialed in. So we were missing our third and second place driver here right now, but we still have the race winner here. MX Bloxham. So he came in with a pretty strong first round, missing last week's race. Real life situations coming in, definitely needing a good result here in Donnington Park in round 3. And well, you definitely found a good result here in Donnington Park with round 3. You had that pole position stolen from you, but you commanded this race pretty much from the get-go. So talk us through your race tonight, and how was it out there?
Man, I just had the perfect jump off the start, and I just tried not to look back, not look at times, not look at anything, and just drive. And I kind of knew if you guys were going to go ahead and take tires on one of their stops, so I just said, screw it, we're going to go to the end on this one set.
And were you kind of were you aware while you were racing around the track kind of how many stops the drivers around you had made? Were you aware that Johnny B was owing a pit stop still? Were you aware that Critico had already made his stops? Are you guys aware of that while you're racing around the track here tonight, or was it just kind of just keep pushing if there's a guy ahead of you and try to catch him and pass him kind of situation here this evening?
I knew Johnny still had a pit stop. I had no idea where Critico was basically the whole race. I didn't really see his name until there at the end and noticed he was only 10, 11 seconds back. So I was just trying to just keep pushing the whole race. Just don't look at anything except for what was ahead of me. I mean, this track demands so much attention as it is. I just didn't want to I didn't want to see anything but the road.
Absolutely, and it makes for difficult racing when you've got 2 mandatory pit stops in play. You're going to have lap traffic. Some drivers are going to start the race off not necessarily in the best of way, and they're going to have to make an early pit, and they might be a little bit further back in the field. So you have a lot of different types of traffic to navigate too. And again, as the race leader, is that always a big concern on your mind? From what we could tell, for the most part, it looks like the blue flag situations were handled pretty well, but as the leader of the race, you're coming up to multiple different kinds of traffics, guys on different pit strategies. What's going through your mind there? Is it just kind of stay patient, wait for an opening, don't push it? What's your mindset?
For my pit stops, I was looking at the map and just kind of seeing where everybody was and where I'd come out, and just try to make sure I had zero traffic in front of me. It was basically just maximize everything that I could out of it. Yeah, I try to keep track of where everybody's at and when I'm making my pit stops and how much traffic I'm catching, and go ahead and make the pit stops before before I lose any more time.
Absolutely, and I mean, it was a great race for you. Ended up winning with about 11.5 second lead, and boy, oh boy, was there a show in behind you between Johnny B and Critico for the last about 6-7 laps of the race there. That was absolutely some great battle between those two, but nonetheless, a great race coming from you. You had to come in today, get a good result to get yourself back up in the standings fight here, and I think you've done that tonight. So round 4 here in the UK next week. How do you feel about next week's track as well?
I feel good about it. I'm not the biggest fan of Snetterton, but I've always done well there. Just not a big fan of the track itself. But either way, no matter the track, no matter where, we're going to go into it and give them everything we have.
Well, absolutely, and definitely try to put some pressure on Johnny B, a defending champion here from last season, and definitely putting a good stamp on it with a great race win here tonight. So I guess with that being said, anything you'd like to add to that, and any thank yous or shout-outs you want to toss out there?
Really, big shout-out to my teammate Johnny here. We've been pushing each other in practice all week too, so big shout-out to him. Big shout out to everybody that was in the race, and definitely the IRL staff and all them for putting all this on.
Absolutely, and it takes a team to make the dream work, is what we always say, and it's a pretty great team here at Infinite Racing League to get these events going on through SimGrid here. So, congratulations, another great performance from you, and I definitely can't wait to see what you're going to bring to us in Snetterton next week.
Thank you, sir, and we'll try to give another show.
Absolutely. Well, you guys always seem to do that. Whew. Hey, how's it going, John? How you doing, brother? We got what do we got? No Leonard saying GG Racers. That was some tight racing. We got some awesome racing coming in from TDC Gaming over there as well. Much love, everybody. We appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in and cheering these guys on as they're working hard out there at Donnington Park today. But Johnny B up in the house here now as well. We have our third place driver here in the interview booth as well, and well. We all just spent 15 minutes watching this gentleman in a fight for his life. He finally decides to make that pit stop on the lead of the race. Unfortunately, giving that position back to his teammate MX blocks him. But Critical making a very, very early decision to make his 2 pit stops very early in the race. And by doing that, I give him just enough to scoop just ahead of Johnny B coming out of pit lane with about 15 minutes remaining in the race. So let's get to that. I mean, you had a pretty uneventful race for the most part. You had a great qualifying. You had the fastest lap on the track tonight. But I mean, that battle, that last 15 minutes of the race, talk us through that. How was it trying to get around Critical? He was doing all the right things at the right times there, making life pretty difficult for you there.
Oh, it was a nightmare. You know, I gave it everything I could. Um, Started off, made the wrong strategy call, got tires halfway through, and expected to get a better start to the race. Didn't. And so was trailing, and I could never really get a rhythm. So I fell back from MX pretty quick. I wanted to jump out in front, get tires halfway through, and then have that fresh pace push me the rest of the way. But had a little issue on my in lap. Cost me about a second and a half in the chicane, and that was enough to get Critical by me. Uh, I had about a second and a half pace in hand on him, but he put that car in the right spot every lap for the last, I think it was like, what, 10, 12 minutes. Yeah, to get by him cleanly, I did everything I could. I might have done some things differently, but he put that car in all the right places, and I was trying to give him hell, but he didn't make any mistakes, lock up, swing wide, nothing like that. So, it happens that way.
Absolutely, and I mean, you definitely gave it a really top college effort there on the final 2 hairpins there. You went in, you took that really wide entry in there. You really tried to maximize both those exits out of that corner, but again, like you said, he just didn't leave enough room for you to get a nose in there and get that position on him to make that thing happen. But I got to tell you, I was excited, and the viewers at home were definitely excited watching you 2 fight that out. And I mean, it's not too often you run into a situation where you run into a battle like that, especially in a competitive race like this, where the 2 drivers are so equally paced and so equally skilled. You get such a great battle like that. I mean, I know as a racer that it's battles like that are moments you kind of never really forget. So are you quite familiar with Basilico? Are you used to battling with him like that? Because that was some pretty incredible driving on both your guys' parts there.
Actually, I just run into him this season. I don't. I might have run into him in a swap race somewhere else, but as far as I know, the first season I've had a battle with him, and it was the first time we actually go toe to toe. We were 1-2 for a long time at COTA, but that was more spread out. So it was the first time though had to actually either try to keep him behind me or try to him trying to keep me behind him, and yeah, it was a hell of a battle. Right now, after the race just ended, it's just a little frustrated with my inability to do it, but I'm sure once I calm down a little bit, it'll be a lot more fun in my head than it is now.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, as the driver trying to gain a position and not able to find a way around that driver, obviously that just frustrates the driver. But, you're a good racer. I'm sure you'll go back, you'll review that footage. You'll take a look at that battle probably a few dozen times. You'll break it all down. And, maybe next time that situation arises, you'll have the answer for him. But nonetheless, that was great battling. Really, really put on a show to finish out the race between yourself and Critico, and some really great racing from you here again tonight. You said last week that you really wanted to come in here and continue to perform strongly through the remainder of the season and try to repeat that championship. And it's not a first tonight, but it's still a podium. So happy?
Yeah, I am. I think second was probably my ceiling today. As MX said before me, we got a lot of laps in this week together, and I was about a tenth or two off of him for the majority of it on race fuel. Was happy to get the pole from him, and then I got a terrible start, just a terrible start. So once that start happened the way it did, second was about the best I was going to do unless I could get a better strat than him, and I made the wrong call on that too. So, but all things considered, it was a good race, and you can't really ever be upset about a podium.
True story. I mean, podium, still a podium nonetheless. And I mean, it's good racing points as well. You haven't missed a race yet this season, so that's just going to add to the points total and help continue the charge for another championship. So, a really great racing tonight. It was a lot of fun watching, especially that last 12-15 minutes of the race between you and Critico there in the Honda. But great race had by all the drivers. And I guess any final remarks and any thank yous or shoutouts you want to toss out there?
I mean, thanks to all the admin folks at IRL that put these races on every week. It's a blast, right? It gives you all the reason in the world to get in the car and practice during the week. And then like MX said, shout out to him as well. He was incredibly fast today, and Usually he's the person I'm pushing myself to try to keep up with, race in, race out. So that's a battle I always look forward to. And then, everybody else who competed, it was good, clean racing, and it was a good time. Hope to improve on it next week.
Absolutely. And Snetterton, how do you feel about Snetterton?
It's not my strongest of circuits, so I'm gonna have to put in a lot of practice this week. I just don't have that many races under my belt there. It's one of the few places, especially the British tracks, that I just don't have a lot of time in. So yeah, we're gonna give it a hell in practice this week and see if I have something for MX and everybody else come next Sunday.
Absolutely. And I mean, new race day, new field of drivers. Could be more cars, could be less cars. It's a whole new day, and anything can happen. And really anybody can win these races from week in to week out. So tonight it was MX Bloxham, but a great battle between Critical Basilico and our third place driver Johnny B. And again, congratulations, great race finish, and potentially talk to you again next week.
Hoping so. And thank you again. Always great on the call. Look forward to going back and watching it.
Appreciate you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, great words as always by our podium finishers. These guys are always so well spoken. There's some tough racing on ACC. It's of course a competition. This is the PS5 version, so this is the console version of ACC. And it's no joke. I mean, these guys are all racing on sim rigs. They're racing on wheels. They're racing on equipment. All that stuff. So. Good night from Italy. Hey, we appreciate you, Critico. Good job, Critico. That was some great fighting, my dude. Cheers, brother. Cheers. That was absolutely fantastic, my guy. Critical up in the IRL YouTube there, throwing up some sweaty emojis. That was a pretty crazy battle there. That was a great fight for sure. And you know what? Good drivers appreciate really good battles like that, win or lose. Like Johnny B said, he's a little frustrated he couldn't make that happen, but at the same time, the driver in front, he did all the right things to make sure it couldn't happen. So two professional drivers full out war there for second and third place tonight, and it was a pretty incredible battle to watch. That was some incredible driving by the two drivers. So cheers to Critico all the way from Italy, and cheers to Johnny B down from the United States of America. Doesn't matter where in the world you are. Good racers, and boy oh boy, that makes for some great battling. So great race, Donnington here. The two pit stop strategy really kind of threw a big wrench in the program, like I kind of figured it would tonight. As far as the field goes, it really created a lot of blue flag traffic very early on in the race. Of course, some drivers struggling early on in the race, having some accidents, having incidents, having damage, having to pit early. That's putting them 30, 40, 50 seconds down immediately, which is almost a lap around the racetrack at that point. So the lead lap traffic already hot on their heels, creating immediate blue flag situations, which is costing drivers pace at the end of the day for the poor guys in the blue flag situation or the pit stop sequence. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't ruin your race. You can still come back, you can still make up for it. And I was showing point in case by a few of the drivers in the field here tonight, but tough racing here at Donnington Park tonight in the UK. And boy, oh boy, the GT3 Summer Series is only getting hotter as the rounds progress. Let me tell you, the action just keeps getting more and more intense. And it's an absolute privilege as a broadcaster to be bringing this action to everybody at home, because imagine what we'd be missing if this wasn't broadcast live. We'd be missing a pretty great Sunday evening broadcast, that's for sure. Something to fill in the weekend, something to finish the weekend off right with, some good vibes, some high energy racing, and a great community. Great racing tonight. We'll be back next weekend on Father's Day for round 4 at Snetterton, again in the United Kingdom. Snetterton, I do believe, is what we would consider the Rainbow Road of the UK racetracks. A little Mario Kart reference there for us old school gamers out there, but you'll all understand it. So very difficult racetrack, and it's going to make for some interesting racing. We'll see. Hopefully we got a nice big fat 30 car grid. Would be fantastic. You want to try it out, you want to come race against these guys, you want to come get some experience on the racetrack, it's welcome to all skill levels. There's no requirement on what your skill is to race in these lobbies. All you got to do is head over to SimGrid, sign up with SimGrid, look for Infinite Racing League, follow them, and bada bing, bada boom, follow the process. They'll jump you into the Discord server, and you can find all those pertinent details up in the Infinite Racing League Discord server. Again, partnered with Coach Dave Academy and SimGrid. Absolutely great organizations. Coach Dave Academy providing ACC tunes and setups for drivers all across the world. So much love to everybody. I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. I hope everybody's enjoyed our broadcast this evening. It's nice to finally be back and have things functioning properly and be able to put out some proper content for everybody. We'll see you next week here from the Infinite Racing League. Stay winning. Remember, you all matter. And we'll see you all soon. Don't forget to like and share on the way out. If you haven't done so already, it's free to do. We appreciate you all. And we'll see you all very soon.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.